If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
That's hated.
Wrestling nostalgia.
I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Johnny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with me, Stu.
Here's Johnny.
And here's James.
Or we should probably correct that intro and actually call it episode 10 2.0. After our slight technical difficulties, we've had to re-record this episode just for you wonderful people to enjoy.
Yes, technology defeated us.
Yeah, proper spanked us.
What's really, really fucking funny is that I was clambering around like an absolute cunt, wasn't I? I was, let's be honest. I was trying to sort it out, and
I was expecting some deep terminology there.
No,
clambering around like a cunt.
no, you Johnny will tell you all my cultural talk is out the window, isn't it?
Yes.
Not going to get into what that was, but yeah, I was clambering around everywhere trying to sort it out, guys. And basically what happened was the microphone broke. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. But we're back.
We are back with double numbers.
Yes.
Double numbers.
Who'd have thunk it?
Obviously, I haven't been here for all 10 episodes. I jumped on the TTP train back on episode 4.
Too right.
Episode 8, I was slightly under the weather and got struck down harder than CM Punk throwing a chair at the Elite. Oh. As always, it's a pleasure being along for the ride.
Absolute pleasure to have you on, mate.
It's a pleasure to be with you two guys.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Emotional,
Likewise.
this is emotional starts.
Just on a quick personal note, I'd like to say thanks to everyone from the podcast who sent us over a birthday wish as of Monday just gone. I turned 41, and also for the fantastic 2 gifts that I've just been presented by James and Johnny, and I'll post a picture on there. I'll spare you the details, but needless to say, I'm absolutely over the fucking moon with all of them. Thank you ever so much, man.
I am glad.
Cheers, man.
So we were going to give you the bumps, but
yeah, good fucking luck with that, mate.
we thought about getting a big cake as well and get Rusev to jump out for you, but he was a bit busy.
I've never seen that. What are you
still
talking
my
about?
beating heart.
You not seen the Rusev jumping out of the cake?
No, I have not.
You are in for a fucking treat. Bring out the cake.
Jesus.
Oh, yes.
Right, so on this episode, we are discussing our top 10 worst gimmick matches.
We are indeed. But before we jump in, can I just bring something up that we forgot to mention on the last episode? Which we did mention on the previous episode that weren't recorded, but I will bring it up again.
Ironically, I've forgotten about that as well.
And that was our trip to Cardiff and James's love for vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Fucking
we
hell.
went for breakfast and James
Doused it.
doused it. He was drinking the vinegar, bathing in the vinegar.
He was dousing it like an insurance claim bungled arson attack.
Fucking hell. Don't fucking knock it till you try it, guys.
I ain't
Honestly, it's
trying it.
really fucking good. And as you said, I don't use it in everything. I didn't put it in the Roman that I had earlier.
But you did bathe in it earlier.
I did.
It's in the bath.
I've already had to know. That's probably why I feel like shit. I'm a bit under the weather, guys, for this one. But we need to get it done.
Yes, we do.
We do, yes.
Yeah, we're battling on.
We are.
I'm recovering from an illness, and James, unfortunately, is under the weather. And Johnny seems to be stuck in the middle of both of us right now.
Yes,
So
holding
you're
together.
fucked either way.
Yeah.
We are ready to wham bam and body slam our way into episode 10.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you very much.
Later on, we'll also be discussing the news, as we always wrap up the episodes with, and also discussing our best and worst moments from Triple H.
The game.
Indeed.
Yeah, these are all our own opinions.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Don't take it personally and don't be shitty about it.
Yep.
So, who would like to start with our top 3 worst... Oh, go on.
Whose topic was this? Who first?
Mine's the next one.
Was this my one? I think it might have been. I think it was.
I can't that long ago.
I haven't
None of us can fucking remember.
I know I haven't done one for fucking ages.
I think this was my one.
Yeah.
Should I jump in then with the first one?
Go for it, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. My first pick, I'm going to go for... The date was March the 19th, 1995. The location was Tupelo, Mississippi. The event was the first ever WCW Uncensored pay-per-view. An event that was unsanctioned, unauthorised, unbelievable and uninteresting. It was actually terrible, and for many years followed, it was actually said to be... It was meant to be cursed. That's what they said about it. A bit like this episode, to be honest, with everything that's kind of going on. But yeah, they said it was cursed every year just because it was so bad. Now, it was a dark, stormy night.
As always.
It wasn't a dark, stormy night. No, it was a nice day in old Mississippi. And the match I'm going to talk about is the opening contest of the pay-per-view.
Oh, this is fucking horrendous.
I've forgotten what it was.
The match that I'm going to talk about is the one and only King of the Road match.
Oh, now I remember.
Now, WCW had Dustin Rhodes and the Blacktop Bully. Blacktop Bully was formerly Smash of Demolition and the Repo Man.
Who we've talked about before.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed we have.
Yes. They were facing off against each other on the back of a trailer of a massive 18-wheeler lorry.
What could possibly go wrong there?
What could go wrong? Now, the way to win was to get to the other end of the trailer and ring the bell that was just hanging there.
I can't talk about this with a straight face again.
Have you seen this shit?
Fucking awful.
It is terrible, yeah. Now, God.
It's just... Whoa.
I don't know what to say about this.
The movement of the truck was limited because, you couldn't do much because Dustin and Blacktop were moving all over the place. The match was pretty much just them resorting to hitting each other with hay barrels. And they were, like I said, there was nothing else they could do. At one point, Bobby Heenan's on commentary back in the arena. He claimed the truck was going at 55 miles per hour, but it wasn't going fast at all. And also the match was pre-recorded as there was shots of the match during the day, night. The editing was terrible of it.
Because you've got to love a bit of decent continuity there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Basically, it just should be called a hay bale throwing match.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is all it is. They basically cannot even stand up properly. Every time they attempt to stand up, you see that wobble. You know when you're on a fucking like...
Well, it's like standing on holding the rails on a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when you stand up like to get off a fucking bus or something, it's still going. Like these guys are trying to have a wrestling match in that circumstance. And it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
We've all tried to hold on to the bus rail while a bus has gone a little bit too fast around a tight corner, and you borderline end up nutting the person in front of you, and then look at them and go, sorry.
Yeah. It's like they couldn't even do a move. The match is pretty much just punch and kick
and
a hay bale to the head.
I always find as well from these promoters, why not rehearse this and see how this goes?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have enough petrol.
Have a practice, yes. Yeah,
they didn't want to keep
might have
going
been a fuel crisis
because
going on there as well. Nothing's changed in 30 years.
Wouldn't you fucking rehearse this to see how it went?
Give it a run through.
Because if you give this one run through, you would have immediately gone, this is a no-go.
Yeah.
It's
weird
because the cameramen as well were in the truck, but they had like a section at the where the trailer, where the driver is.
Yeah.
The back of the
So
back of it's
like
cut out, and they're sort of standing.
Rear view mirror kind of image.
They're standing there watching it. It was very strange, but the match isn't remembered that well. It's mainly remembered for Dustin and Blacktop being their last match, because straight after they were both fired for blading. There was a no bleeding rule in WCW at the time.
I bet Dustin was happy to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin.
But later
Dusty.
on, that same year, he went on to become Gold Dust.
Yep.
Not many months later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my first pick.
Well,
What I do wish to say about that, Johnny, is what's absolutely hilarious is I love the way that you mentioned the Uncensored, especially in that early 90s, mid-90s is cursed, because there are so many bad matches around that time, and most of them are from Uncensored. I know that I've picked one, and that you've picked the same one.
Yes, yeah.
And that's from Uncensored.
yeah. Let's not give away too many spoilers here.
I know. When we've got such a huge amount to pick from, I mean, I went through loads of matches to do this, and I actually, the reason why because I've recently changed mine, guys, the reason I actually went along with Johnny is because I'm just being brutally honest. It is, in my opinion, the worst one, the one that we're coming up with.
It is terrible,
You know, so yeah, it's just interesting with the Uncensored films. There are so many bad ones.
Who wants to go next then?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay. Now, to a few people, my one might come across as a concept because it's a whole pay-per-view. And the reason I picked this one, guys, is because it is a whole pay-per-view and they scheduled it at the WrestleMania of WCW, which is Starrcade. So it's supposed to be their main show. It's BattleBowl. And specifically, BattleBowl 91, which a lot of people say is the best one.
Was that the first one?
I don't know.
I think it was, because 92, I think 93, I think it was the first one.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it was. I won't give away the winner. What I'll say is, guys, just in terms of BattleBowl, this is insane. I had to write this down.
Please do explain the concept.
I'm going to try my best, and I've got Johnny here to help me.
I will try.
Okay, so this is 2 gimmicks in one. Okay, 2 gimmick matches. The first idea, right, is called Lethal Lottery. And what this involves is it involves a heel locker room and a face locker room. And they each draw, I don't know if they draw numbers, Johnny, or what they do.
I remember it was a bit like the Royal Rumble where they had like the tombola thing and they were spinning it round and cracking the eggs, the names.
It's Raw for the Champions League, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically what happens is you draw from like the heel locker room and the face locker room, and this makes a tag team.
Yeah.
Right, so immediately, whoever you're working with and working against, it's going to be difficult.
Was it always face and heel? Wasn't there sometimes a heel and a heel?
Maybe. I can't remember.
No, I'm not quite sure.
Not being funny, the rules are so convoluted that I thought it was like, because they always show it, if you remember, back in like one of the locker rooms.
That's right, yeah.
And
All the
they'd
rest are
say,
just sitting on chairs.
Yeah, and they'd say, you've drawn with so-and-so. Like, say for Steve Austin, you've drawn to partner with Sting.
Yeah.
And then all the time one of them would go, oh no, for God's sake, I want to be with it and all this. So...
Who was that impression of?
Fuck knows. Yeah, so you would have these weird tag teams and they would face each other. And basically whoever won out of these 2 weird tag teams in a match would go into the final BattleBowl. Okay? Now we go even more complex. So, specifically BattleBowl 91, there were 2 rings.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there's 16... Was there 16 people who got through?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 16.
Yeah. 16 people get through to make it to this BattleBowl final, which is 2 rings, and basically it's a battle royal, except you all start in ring 1, and it's an over-the-top rope battle royal, but if you get eliminated, you have to then move to ring 2. Once you're in ring 2, if you get eliminated again, you're out.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what happens is, in the first ring, I hate to confuse everyone, this is the rules. In the first ring, the last remaining person stays in that ring And I think the idea is the advantage is you're supposed to get a rest.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is,
right?
I think.
And then that person has to wait until ring 2 empties to the last person.
It's a bit unfair, though, because that guy's had time to rest up. The other guy's been in the match. He should have a bit of time to rest as well.
Well, no, the reason why is because he's won.
Yeah.
In ring 1.
Yeah.
Where, now, here lies in the problem. The person in ring 1 has to just stand in ring 1. Now, if you're Lex Luger, who's not that charismatic, you are just standing there watching the other guys for at least maybe 10 minutes, right?
Oh,
and
fucking hell.
this is the only spoiler I'm going to give away, but it's Lex Luger who actually wins in ring 1 in 1991.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what to do.
It's just
like he stands, he's
pretty much his entire fucking career, to be honest.
He's like walking around, he's watching the other ring.
Yep.
And then he's going
debut, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then he's going towards the crowd, just flexing and then like throwing out some hands because they're booing him. So then in ring 2, you get the final person in there, and then I think there's another 30-second rest.
There's something like that.
And then both of these guys, I think they have to re-enter ring 1.
Yeah.
Battle it out until one goes over. I don't think it's pin. I think you throw them over.
I think it's elimination, I think.
And your reward is a ring.
What more would you want?
Yeah, you win a Battle Bowl ring similar to American football where you get a ring for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That convoluted story is Battle Bowl. And
don't blame us, blame WCW.
I tell you what it reminds me of, guys. It reminds me of someone in a room having an idea and then someone else going to him. Like, say if there's a whole group of people in a room and someone going, that's a really good idea, but why don't we instead add this? And then someone else going, yeah, that's really good, but why don't we add that as well? And what you have is you have like this bundle of ideas which everyone thinks is amazing, and when it comes out it's so complex. It's just
too
all over the place.
Too many cowboys, not enough Indians.
Yeah.
The thing is, when they won, they have to wait the following year to
get
receive the ring. Yeah.
The presentation ceremony, because me and Johnny actually watched this.
We
watched Starrcade 92, and as I say, remember this is WrestleMania, really.
Yeah.
For WCW.
For WCW, yeah.
Right? So it starts off with Sting getting the ring that he won the year before.
I don't know if they've done it again after that. I don't know if it...
No, they started only using one ring. Right. Because I think that they realised it's why I've gone for 91 specifically, guys. Yeah. Because the 2-ring thing is so weird, and it's like someone is just overthinking.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was sitting there watching it, I was like, if you watch this for the first time, you will be so happy if you've listened to this before, because I've just told you the rules. If you were just watching this, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Because that's what I was like. I was watching it and I was going, what's the rules?
Like, I like the idea if it was thought about more and there was a lot more effort sort of put into it. Because you
see, I disagree with you. I think that if there was less effort put into it,
yes.
Because I think there's been too much effort.
Much more effort involved in that. It's just a ridiculous concept for a match.
Apparently, it originally come from Dusty, which I'm a big fan of. But I could see Dusty in a room coming up with a idea like this.
Yeah.
And as I say, loads of people chipping off and going, what about if we did this as well?
Wait until he went out of the room again. I'll tell you what else would be really good.
Yeah.
Right, now he's fucking gone. Let's put somebody in.
Yeah.
We'll bring that guy in.
That's what it feels like to me.
We'll have 2 rings.
I do agree with you that this could have been done on a house show somewhere.
Yeah.
In a smaller
like a
dimension.
Something different. Yeah, not the Starrcade. But it was weird because you had these teams being put together, like you said, they had no chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah.
They'd never teamed before. And you had teams like Jushin Thunder Liger teaming with Bill Kazmaier against DDP and Mike Graham.
Yeah, that's what
things like that.
That's got tag titles written all over it straight away.
It's just horrendous.
Like every year there was either like the Freebirds facing off against each other, the Steiner brothers against each other, or the Legion of Doom against each other. Because they were on opposite sides.
It's horrendous.
I personally don't see what your problem. Of course, I fucking do. It's shit.
Again, in my opinion, it's horrendous.
Bollocks. It's shit. If there's anyone out there that fucking likes it, what's wrong with you?
Well, there will be people.
It's shit. I'm sorry.
You did have good talent. You could have used it, like Rick Rude.
Oh God, there was some stunning people.
Johnny B. Bad.
Oh my God, you should see who was in the ring. There was some real good fucking talent in that ring.
Because you had the 91, and then you had it in 92 again. 93, they turned it into its own pay-per-view. But I can't remember who won 93.
Me.
Vader.
Was it Vader? I think Great Muta won 92.
He did. We watched it. And it was very strange the way he won it. He won it off a drop kick. But it's the way that I think it was Barry Windham was the last person.
Don't
and the way he went over.
How many titles did Hogan win with a fucking leg drop? Right? Let's not knock a drop kick.
You need to see it, Stu. He hits him with one drop kick when he's in the centre of the ring. Right. And then he's not really close to the ropes. He hits him with another one.
That's right.
And then he's kind of leaps over from a distance. And it's
Never underestimate the power of a toe clip.
It's like...
And he's gone.
Holy shit! It's at the end.
Yeah,
and the crowd. Me and Johnny was sitting there, and you can even see the crowds. They're like, "Oh, that's it!" Like that. It's a kind of weird ending.
That sounds like some of the films I watched last week. Oh, was that it? Oh.
So yeah, I picked that one because it's a whole pay-per-view. It's two bad gimmicks in one, and it's done. Can you imagine if they did that at WrestleMania?
Fans would walk out.
Well, they wouldn't be happy, would they?
No.
So that's why I picked that one.
Yeah.
Because it's their main show of the year.
You do that at WrestleMania, you'd get a chance of, we want a refund.
You expect like the big title match, things like that, but instead you have BattleBowl.
Yeah. Quality. We did find out though, didn't we, that the last one they did was in 2001, slightly before they went out of business, on Nitro over in the UK.
They did, and they did this as a tag team tournament.
And it was for the tag titles at the end of it.
I don't know how it works, because we never watched it all the way through. It's so awful, guys. I just want to bring up, because the people love our tangents, there was one guy on there, and he was called Crowbar. And he was supposed to be like a crazy guy, a bit like Al Snow. Right. And there was another guy, and he was having a hardcore match against this guy called Big Vito, right? Who some people might remember.
He wanted to wear a dress, didn't he?
That's the one, I think. Yes. That is the one. Yeah, on SmackDown.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Vito enters the ring, and he's like this mafia type individual. He's got like the hat and the fucking leather jacket, and he comes in. And then Crowbar comes in. Right, it's me and Johnny was sitting there watching this, and he sprints to the ring like the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
And he slides into the ring, and he stands up, and he does two stand in front drop kicks in the centre of the ring, and just falls crashing on the floor after each one. And Vito is in the corner,
just watching,
and it's not funny. Like,
it's just strange.
Very
strange.
Like, if you guys saw it, like, you know how someone does something weird and they're crazy, it's supposed to be funny, like an Al Snow with head and all that. This just wasn't funny. It was like,
it was just,
what are you doing?
It was just WCW at that time. Very strange.
It was like someone trying something, but it was so. I mean, the reason I laughed is because it was so shit. I mean, I went, what the fuck? But yeah. I
wonder if he did it in every match. I feel like I should go back and watch.
I might watch it.
There is your homework for tonight, Johnny.
To be fair, he's probably a good talent. I wouldn't be surprised if he was told to do that.
He used to be Devon Storm. He wrestled in the WWF for a while. He wrestled in the light heavyweight tournament with Brian Christopher and Taka Michinoku for a little while. So he was quite good. But yeah. Just sort of changed his character up.
He probably was quite good. There was some crazy stuff, again, from promoters making silly decisions.
He had a massive nose.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. He had a massive nose.
That's one highlight to take away from it. Yeah. Bless him.
Bless him.
Is that my pick?
It's your pick, yes.
Mine's going to be really, well, as we had this when we tried to record it previously, mine are really quick because I don't really give a shit about spending much time talking about mine because personally I think they're fucking atrocious.
Can I just interject, Stu? Do you know what I really want to do? I want to get to Johnny's one.
Yeah, same here.
You know that one?
Oh, I know what one you mean. My number 3 pick is from King of the Ring, and it's the hardcore evening gown match between Gerald Briscow and Pat Patterson. There ain't a lot I can say about this other than it is fucking embarrassing. It's shit. It shouldn't have happened.
This was on my shortlist.
It's just fucking horrendous.
The only reason this didn't make my list is because it's short.
I'm glad it's short.
Yeah.
And it still annoys me that I really watched it for
I know what you're saying.
And I watched it at least about 5 or 6 times now.
It was very strange because they were both really good wrestlers back in the day. Imagine if they'd gone out there and had that sort of match, the moves that they knew.
From their point of view, the fact that they agreed to do this, and they are fucking legends at what they've done within the wrestling industries for years. Absolute legends. Could you, if you put yourself in their position, in your 50s, 60s at this point, and you're going to be in an evening gown hardcore match, I'd have told them to stick your fucking job up your fucking arm.
I think that Vince come up with this laughing in the back.
Yeah, I reckon so. It's one of the sort of things he'd do. What's weird as well is that when Pat Patterson's getting his evening gown ripped off, before he's getting it ripped off, he's trying to bribe Gerald Briscow with cigarettes from his pocket, a condom, and I'm sure there's some other little things in there as well.
I didn't pay enough attention to even
notice.
But then when he does start getting stripped off, hasn't he got a massive skid mark up the back of his pants?
Yeah. And as if that's if that's not insult to injury as it is, make them wear this to make them have a big shit stain smear at the back of your pants is frankly I just find it fucking cringeworthy.
The first ever Intercontinental Champion.
Like what the fuck? The only it's not even a decent thing because I wasn't even a fan of this guy. It was Crash Holly came out, intervened and fucked off with the title.
I quite like the only thing I remember I liked about them was when they won the title and they were sneaking into the room with the referee and they were being all quiet. But that was it. There was nothing else.
It was done in backstage segments, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nothing. I don't think anything was done out in the ring apart from this. Really,
it was shit. I'm done. That's it.
A bit like Pat Patterson's pants.
Yeah. Done from the back end. Oh, that sounds wrong. We'll take that. Yeah, we'll take that out.
Take what out?
Yeah, I'm done. It's fucking atrocious, and you're going to hear those words from me a lot in the next sort of 20 odd minutes or so.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it, Johnny. Yours, number 2.
Okay, so for the next pick, me and Johnny have come up with the same match. We were talking earlier about the curse of Uncensored, and I think that's fair.
That's it.
Yes. I think that's a fair thing to say because it is awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take over, Johnny.
Okay, right.
Shag him in when you're ready.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to March the 24th of 1996. Ooh. And just like episode 9, I'm going to take you down.
Sorry, it was just out of the corner of my eye. I can see James with an expression on his face of "shut the fuck up."
It's just awful.
Just get this section done with, for fuck's sake.
It ain't going to take long. So I'll give you a little lesson. It's Johnny History lesson, like episode 9. Now, Take That was number 1 in the UK Top 40 charts of How Deep Is Your Love.
Fuck off.
The Birdcage starring Robin Williams was number 1 in the movie box office charts.
Great film.
X-Files star Gillian Anderson was the sexiest woman.
Yeah.
And the first Resident Evil game was released on the PlayStation 1. Yeah. And WCW held its second annual Uncensored pay-per-view.
Sorry, I'm not a fan of them. Number 2 was good.
Yeah.
Director's cut anyway. Sorry.
I'm not even going to go into gaming. Last time we went into one on Apes Odyssey, and I'm not going to go there.
Follow me.
Yeah. I'm not even going to go there.
Oh.
Follow me. So.
No, I am actually.
Yes.
All I'm going to say is, hope this is not Chris's blood. If anyone's played it, they'll know. The acting in it is unbelievably bad, Resident Evil.
Almost as good as the films. Ooh.
Maybe.
Holy shit. Come on.
Yeah, they ain't great.
Did you hear that gunshot? Maybe it's Chris.
Well, we should sit up and play it one day. Review that.
I have got it.
Well.
I'm not getting involved. I thought the game was shit. Anyway, fucking hell.
Okay, right. So the match I'm talking about is the Doomsday Cage match. Now, Hulk Hogan had been locked in a feud for months with the Dungeon of Doom, which somehow escalated into Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage taking on pretty much every heel that ever lived, including a couple of made-up wrestlers just for this match. These wrestlers included the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Double A Arn Anderson, Meng and the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan, Zed Gangster, who was Zeus in No Holds Barred, and
Tiny Lister.
and the Ultimate Solution, who played Bane in Batman and Robin, who had no connection with Hulk Hogan whatsoever.
He was actually better than Zeus in the match. I watched it recently. He actually could do like a body slam and things like that.
I've just got a massive cringe on my face because you said Batman and Robin, and I choose to ignore that film even fucking exists. We went to the fucking cinema to watch that.
I didn't. You guys did.
Fucking
I
awful.
refused to go in.
Who played Batman? Was that George Clooney?
Don't bring it up, all right? Don't.
Do you know we've
actually
talked about this before?
Oh no.
Do you remember when we talked about Alicia Silverstone in episode 1?
Yeah.
We've actually talked about Batman and Robin before.
On a slight tangent, did you ever see his George Clooney's interview on Graham Norton?
I don't know.
Where he was asked about the whole playing Batman thing and how do you feel, being responsible for almost the death of a franchise, and he actually publicly apologised for it. Bat nipples. That's all I'm going to say.
It weren't just poor George fucking Clooney though, was it? It was terrible.
It was
all
fucking
round.
awful.
Is this the one with Poison Ivy where they all fall in love with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the Riddler as well?
No,
that's Batman Forever.
That's right,
Mr. Freeze.
Oh, yeah.
The Iceman cometh.
Let's get back to the wrestling. Otherwise we'll be fucking...
Okay. Doomsday... right.
Fuck off.
Doomsday Cage match. It was famous for not only being difficult to watch live due to the multi-cage structure, that no one really knew the rules either.
Also, because this is my pick, so I can add to this.
Yep, go for it.
Right? They shine these lights on it. They put it in the dark and they shine lights all over it, right? And the lights are all dark colours and it makes it impossible to see. So I think there's an audible code which we'll talk about, Johnny, together.
Yep.
When we get to level 2. But I'll let you carry on and I'll chime in with anything.
Yeah, go for it. So Hogan and Savage are basically just wandering around from cage to cage. And it is like a cage next to a cage, on top of a cage, above a cage, around a cage.
Inside a cage.
Inside a cage, yes. And they're beating up the heels, one by one.
In a cage.
You've got
his fucking face.
It's horrendous. First of all, right, the main 2 wrestlers... Are you going to bring this up?
No, go
right, I'll bring this up. Okay. So, you would guess, right, if you're structuring a match and you want it to get down to brass tacks time, right, that the best thing to do is to put the 2 main fucking wrestlers at the ends.
Yep.
Right? Which would be Arn and Rick. Right? Ric Flair and Arn Anderson at the ends.
Spoiler alert.
Right? Because they can put on a match with Savage and Hogan at the end, and then all the others could chime in and maybe beat them up.
They could put on a match with a box of tissues and a frying pan.
So, anyway, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. So, anyway, these 2 fuckers started Arn Anderson and Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right? And in the bottom fucking cage, it's the 2 people who can't wrestle. You've got, even though they're big, they hold no threat because one of them can only choke and the other one's green as fucking goose shit and can't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. They can't.
I'll let you carry on.
Agreeing with the green as goose shit.
Well, I haven't got much more to add to it. To be honest.
I'll fucking go then.
Right, go for it.
Okay.
Don't hold back, mate. Come on.
So
Do us proud.
after they get past Rick and Arn, right, they end up in the second cage, and there's this there's loads of people in the second fucking area, the middle area.
Yeah.
Arn and Rick are out. I mean, I don't know what they hit them with, but they must hit them with like a fucking hammer or something. So they're out for ages, and they make no attempt to come down for a long, long time, even though they're allowed. And fucking, I can't even remember who's in the middle cage. I know it's like Haku and the Barbarian, Lex Luger and Kevin Sullivan. I think it's them four, right? There is this structure in the middle of the cage where there's a door. There's a fucking door in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Right? And what they do is, for ages, because they can't get this worked out, they try and close the door on a number of them. Do you remember this bit?
That's right, yeah.
And it takes ages. They're trying to work out how to, knot a chain.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to do it, even, when you get, two wrestlers who are trying to resist being stuck in. But you can tell they're trying to work out as well, how do we tie this fucking thing? Like that. So anyway, they don't tie it properly, so you can actually just open it and squeeze through.
Yeah.
But here's the hilarious thing, guys. The idea of this match is Hogan and Savage must escape the cage of doom, right? They leave on the second floor, down the scaffolds, and walk to the ring. The real ring. So they've already won.
Yeah.
Because they're already out, right? But then there's all this shit go down in the real ring. I reckon there's an audible call. I reckon they said no one can see this shit, so we're going to have to go down to the centre of the ring. Kevin Sullivan's in that. Kevin Sullivan is a very, very good worker, but why Kevin Sullivan, for 1.5 odd years with the Dungeon of Doom, is the main enemy of Hulk Hogan is beyond me.
There's one bit I remember of Kevin Sullivan as well, where they're in the cage or they're on the scaffolding or something, and he's hanging over the top, like he's going to get thrown off and killed.
Yeah, it happens a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think they go to throw Hogan over, and it's actually quite fucking dangerous at one point because one of them is hanging over and the other one's trying to pull. When they pull in a Royal Rumble where they use their feet to push them off.
Yeah.
There's a part like that, and any sort of mistake takes them down to the fucking concrete.
I think it would have been more fun if someone had fallen off.
It would have been. It would have probably been fucking stopped. But anyway...
We here at Top Turnbuckle Podcast don't condone the...
When I was watching it, some big one for things making sense in wrestling. I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, they've just walked down, they've fucking won. And they end up in the ring, the real ring.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where this is, Stu, if you haven't seen it. This is off sort of in the backstage, where the entrance is, this cage. It's to the side of it.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's away from the main area of everything, like the ring.
No one could see a thing.
No.
The way... Hey, no, you wouldn't be able to see a thing, especially if you're sitting over the back.
And poor Bobby Heenan is on commentary and he's going... You can tell he's thinking the complete opposite, but he's going, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. WCW, how can anyone not watch anything else with this kind of action? Like this. And you can tell he's thinking, fuck my life.
Where the big boys play.
Yeah. But anyway, somehow they end up in the fucking cage. After going to the main ring... Right, where the bell should have been called because they escaped. Right, they end up going back in there. I can't remember how. I think they just get overwhelmed and people throw them back in.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then these big guys take over and they can't work. I
wonder if he's ever had a match ever. This Ultimate Solution.
Nah, he weren't that bad. To be fair...
Was it the Bane guy? Yeah, I believe he did have. I remember reading about it because it was something to do with that film that I'm not mentioning. I do believe, memory serves correct, he did have a wrestling-based background.
Yeah, to be fair to this Ultimate Solution,
Yeah.
when I watched it, he's sort of in camo gear, isn't he?
Yeah, that's
the one. Right. He actually ain't that bad compared to Tiny Lister.
Right.
All Tiny Lister does is fucking strangle people.
Hogan should know how to beat him anyway. He's beaten him about 10 times before.
Yeah, that's what made me laugh. We won't get into WCW. We are going to bring up the Dungeon of Doom
To
at
be
some
fair,
point.
Chris Tucker kicked the shit out of him in Friday as well, so,
Yeah.
You just got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, just watch it, guys. It's horrendous. There's frying pans involved at one point,
Yeah,
and you
'cause
can see they're fake.
The booty
Someone
man
breaks
comes
one.
out. Yeah, booty man brings them out, and they hit all the heels of them.
Yeah, and one of them breaks in
Yeah.
Ric Flair's hand.
Awesome.
As he's holding it, it just breaks.
Brilliant.
And then the finish is, I think it's supposed to be Luger screwing Ric Flair, even though he's beat the hell out of Hulk Hogan the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? This is one thing I hate about WCW personally, is the coal miner's glove. I have never worked out why that is so threatening to everybody.
Okay, I've just done a little bit of research into the Ultimate Solution, and so he actually started his wrestling career back in 1987.
Okay.
And he worked for World Class Championship Wrestling. He had a feud with Bruiser Brody.
Wow.
He also went on to wrestle for the Global Wrestling Federation and had a feud with Ahmed Johnson. Shortly after, he went to WCW. And this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what's coming.
The Ultimate Solution, well, the Final Solution, he had his name changed to the Ultimate Solution because there was a lot of complaints from Jewish organisers.
I thought that when I was listening to the name.
Because the Final Solution was the name that Adolf Hitler gave to the plan to destroy the Jews.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little bit of history trivia. Some people might know what I do for a living or anything like that. The Final Solution was not Adolf Hitler's idea. Does anyone know whose it was?
No.
It was Edward I.
Okay.
Longshanks.
Right.
Remember the guy from Braveheart?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just there. Just a little bit of...
He did pass away, actually. I didn't realise he'd died.
Yeah, a few years back now.
1997.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not long after the film. Not that that's a connection there. Sorry, I've just realised that sounds bad. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit of extra.
Yeah, there we go.
Throw in there. But yeah, that was it.
I actually thought he was quite impressive. Now I know a little bit more, I'm not too sure. But I actually thought he hadn't had a match before, and that's why I said he looked like he could work.
Yeah. I might go back and check out some of his older stuff just to see what he was like.
Oh. Is that back round to me then?
Yeah, again, that's our own opinion on that one, that we placed that one in there.
We had quite a few decent comments about this, so I'll get to those. Once
I would be shocked if that isn't in one of the comments, that match.
Right. My second pick, again, it's going to be short and sweet. All of mine are going to be short and sweet on this one. Comes from Unforgiven, April 26, 1998, and it's the first Inferno match between Kane and The Undertaker. All I can say with this is the build-up was phenomenal, but unfortunately the payoff was just like watching fucking Home and Away. As far as I'm concerned, it's
the match that followed WrestleMania.
Yes,
big build-up to it. Yeah.
Unforgiven.
It is... On paper, it should have been something absolutely magnificent. The build-up to it, the promos were awesome. The intensity for this match was there. Unfortunately, everything was missed on the night. It was shit.
I think that this is a really brilliant pick, because I think that this, on paper, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That you're going to surround these two wrestlers with the Kane situation in a wall of fire.
Yeah.
It's the actual payoff and how it was done and performed, and how the technology of how they done it worked, which damaged it.
Yeah. I think my biggest gripe with this match, obviously, you've just summed yeah, probably the biggest one up. But my biggest gripe, personally, is we all know Kane's background involving fire. You know, when he originally made his debut, and you know why he wore the mask and didn't speak and wore the full bodysuit. He was horrifically scarred, burnt, afraid of fire, this, that, and the other. So we all fucking knew who was going to win.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's absolutely fucking stupid. And it should, like I said, it should have been something amazing. It really did. But it was just a letdown. It was and the same with every other one that followed. They were just piss poor ideas. Well, sorry, I take that back. It wasn't a piss poor idea. It was piss poorly executed. Yeah,
no, that's where I would place it as a brilliant pick. This is something that should have been amazing.
Yeah.
That actually everybody thought, this isn't that good.
No. I was really looking forward to this match.
So was I.
And from previous to this, I'd seen in Japan fire matches and where the ropes were on fire.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's what it was going to be. But what it was completely different.
Yeah.
They put a type of grill around the ring. I don't know what you would even call that.
It was basically a grill.
Yeah, it was like a grill.
On it.
Yeah, and
it's essentially the same sort of pyros that Bands I've seen live use.
And
that's it.
When they lit it, when they first got in the ring, it went up no higher than a lighter.
Yeah.
As I recall.
Do you know the best comparison for it? Pilot light.
Yeah.
On a cooker.
And what actually happened was every time they did a move, they would pump gas through it.
The flames would go higher.
Yeah, and they would go higher and things like that. But it just didn't work.
No.
It was like the flames were a distraction instead of excitement to it. And it hampered the talent in the ring. I remember even the commentators would go, it's so hot out here, it's awful. Like that, they hated it. You could tell.
Have been so bad.
Yeah.
Because those flames weren't like 2-3 foot, they were like 6-7 foot plus.
Yeah.
And the intensity coming out of there, because to have pyros on that type of extremity, you could see the blue side of the flame, like the hottest part, and that's fucking huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I mean, as I said, the for me personally, Stu, the flames were never high enough for it to be something where I would go, this is. I imagined, maybe it's me being silly, I imagine them being higher than the ropes, over the top, like a ring of fire, like that. Instead, it was almost like when you turn a Bunsen burner at school to the lowest level.
Yeah, like I said, Japan stuff, I thought the ropes were going to be on fire.
Yeah, so...
Not that I enjoy fire in matches, because I don't. This was quite safe because you could tell there were so many people around it that I think that they designed it this way. Again, I would go on this one as a brilliant pick because this is something that should have been amazing, and on paper I imagine it sounded amazing, and when it got out into the ring, the way it was done, it was a letdown.
Did they have another Inferno match as well?
They had many.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of some of the others. I know Triple H and
Kane has had one with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Didn't Kane win that one?
No, Bray Wyatt won that one.
The family interfered.
They kicked it down.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They kicked down the corner of it and got him. Yeah.
Has Kane ever
Has he ever won one?
Yeah.
No.
You think by now he'd learn.
Yeah.
The Undertaker had one. I can't tell you who against, but it set up the Stephanie Ministry of Darkness angle because he set the teddy bear on fire in front of Vince.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that was.
But yes, that's to be fair. I probably should have changed that to my number one pick. But
I think it's a brilliant
with my number one pick
because I think everyone looks at something and they go, "Oh yeah, something that's really crap." This isn't necessarily crap. This is crap in functionality.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it should on paper.
Yeah.
Like if I was promoting this and writing this, I would think I was really writing something amazing.
Yeah. Theoretically, it's brilliant. But unfortunately, when it came to the actual final product itself, just complete wank.
There's one I actually forgot about was Kane versus MVP.
Yes, and supposedly MVP got burnt really bad. Yes. Is that the one? Yeah.
I think Randy Orton had one as well.
He has, yes. But yeah, that's That's my number 2 pick.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much.
It's a good one.
Have it.
Okay.
Back to you, Johnny.
Is it back to me? It's my final one. Okay.
Do we want me to go?
Oh, do you know what? I think we should do you, me, and then let Johnny, because Johnny's one is brilliant.
You have to remember, guys, that we have actually already recorded this before, and Johnny's one is so amazing I think he should go last.
Yeah. That's how it went before, wasn't it? Did I go last?
No, he went first. We had to follow.
It made it impossible.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, do that then.
Now, oh God, mine's just as bad. But it'll be good sandwiched in with first. With Okay, so I'm going to need Johnny's help for this.
Yep.
Now, the reason I'm going to need Johnny's help for this, guys, is that I was very, very worried about doing a deep dive into this.
Deep dive?
Yeah, literally a deep dive into this subject. However, when I showed the other two guys this promotion, because this one is based off of a promotion, Johnny wanted to know more. So Johnny actually looked more into this.
I dived straight in.
Yeah, right. So
I zipped up and fucked off.
Again, we have to keep on putting out these disclaimers now. These are personal opinions. Someone might like this, okay? This organisation.
I didn't mind some of this, but not the others.
Right. So there is a promotion out there called DDT Pro Wrestling, and it's in Japan, and it's a moderately successful promotion. It's not New Japan. I don't know if it does actually have something to do with Pro Wrestling Noah at one point. It might have done.
It did for a little while, I think, yes.
Yeah, but this promotion, I think, because, as I said, I tried to stay on the very edge of learning about this promotion after some of the videos I watched.
I'd love to see your recent viewed history.
Oh, the joke's on me, Stu. The joke's on me. When I go onto YouTube on my recommended, it puts the thumbnail up of some of those matches. But anyway, so DDT Pro Wrestling. Now, I believe, from what I read, that they have a happy hour, what they call a happy hour. Yeah. For an hour, they have the craziest gimmicks you have ever seen. This is what I think, because when you go on here, guys, if you dare to search this,
please do.
It is
have a look. Go on, have a look.
It is all in Japanese.
What's the worst that can
happen? It is all in Japanese, the writing, and so is the commentary, so you can't really tell much about it.
Yeah, unless you're fluent in Japanese, then fair play to you.
So, just to give you an idea of what they do, they wrestle blow-up dolls. That was the first match I watched, and this is actually, me and Johnny would talk about this, it's actually a good match.
I enjoyed this.
Yes. Now, this is Kota Ibushi.
How can you take this fucking serious?
This is Kota Ibushi versus, and this blow-up doll's in a faction. I can't remember what it's called. It's called something like Kaminino or something like that.
Max of the models, isn't it?
And it's rockets on the back of his... Yeah, but rockets or something.
Yeah.
God. So
Ibushi, as you probably know, most famous in probably New Japan. He's independent wrestler. He works all around Japan. Works sometimes in America. He's famous for being in the Golden Lovers, I suppose, mainly with Kenny Omega as a tag team.
Yeah.
He was Kenny's second in the match with Okada, wasn't he?
That's right. Yes.
But he's a hell of a talent. He has a 30-minute match. Right, this highlights the video, by the way, with a blow-up doll, and it's quite stunning.
It's a 5-star match.
Yeah, it's brilliant, right?
It's
so to be fair, right, they do have these blow-up matches, but the Ibushi one is fucking good, right?
Oh God, Jesus!
It is. Like even as bad as I hate that sort of thing in wrestling, even I'd watch it and go, "Fucking hell, Ibushi's putting on a hell of a show here." Do you know what I mean? But then there's this other one that come up, and I think I sent this one to you, and it was a Caucasian man.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognise the wrestler.
No, I wasn't too sure.
No.
I didn't catch a name.
No. And he was wrestling this giant mascot that looked like something from Pokemon.
Was it a panda?
I don't know what it was. You'll have to watch it again, Johnny. I can't watch it again. Now, it looked like it had a pair of bollocks as well. It's either legs or bollocks because they're sort of hanging and they've got no, like fluff. The fluffy... They're just, you know what I mean? It's just a thin piece of, like, fluffy material. This guy's wrestling this giant mascot, God. And at one point the mascot's head falls off, and they pretend it's been beheaded, and they all like go crazy. Yeah, that's it. There's that Oh no. Is that DDT?
Oh my God.
Right,
sorry.
just for context, Johnny's just looked up DDT. Now there is a match which Johnny's fans, which is a mascot of Vader versus a
giant panda.
A giant panda mascot.
We're going to have to put that.
Oh no!
And it's giant panda versus giant panda.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So.
Okay, no.
Anyway, there are certain matches in this, like the panda at one point goes for a suicide dive, and its head gets stuck in the middle of the ropes. I don't know if you watched it that far, Stu.
No, I didn't.
Did you see that?
I really didn't last long.
Yes.
There's one point where this one I'm talking about with these pair of bollocks.
Yeah.
There's one point where the guy gets him in a submission, the mascot, and he like puts on this busting crab, but it's to the bollocks. Like he grabs the bollocks and pulls them back.
Oh, God.
It's unreal. It's like unfucking real. Now, that's the mascots. The funniest bit is the head. When the head accidentally falls off, they all pretend like the mascot's been beheaded, and they're all like shocked and oh my God, like oh God. But there's another match, and I can't really tell you much about this one, guys. It's a match where there's this small figure. I sent this one to you. It looks like a pot.
Yep.
And I don't think you can pin it because of the way it is. It's like an egg shape. And this guy's wrestling it. And he's doing all, like all the catch can, like crawling on the floor around it. And technical, like touching it with his hands while he's on all fours and stuff. All this shit. It's just crazy. Right? Now, the main one, right? And this is not anything to do. I just want to point this out here with being heterosexual, homosexual, whatever your preference is, this is fucking weird. Right? Like, honestly.
What we will say, this is true. This has actually happened. So
there's a group, and I found out their names. It's lucky that went off for a week because I found out who they are. Right, so they're called the Pheromones.
I did know, I saw it myself,
Now, one of them has a camera, and that's all he has. He doesn't do any wrestling, he just walks around filming the other two.
Yeah.
There's another one called Dino, and there's this other guy who seems to be the main one in the group with the arse moves in it, called Sexy Uti, or Utah. Right? Now, these guys, I don't know what the match is about. I don't know what the gimmick is, but it always ends with these guys pulling their trousers down, bare-arsed, and they'll do these double or triple team moves to whatever individual. Like, and they're quite complex. Like, there'll be things like one of them's got the other one in a Boston Crab, and then the other one will come along on, like, a cartwheel-like scenario and land the other one's face in his arse. I know it sounds weird.
It's not so much in his arse. They fully put the guy's nose up his butt crack.
Yeah, as far as they can.
As physically far, literally nose to hole.
I watched one. There was one where they got this guy on a trolley, and they put the guy's arse down. This guy's like sat with his arsehole open on all fours, and they run this trolley from corner to corner straight into this guy's face, facing out the trolley, straight into this guy's arsehole. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't watch all this.
There's a top 10. There's like a top 10. No, you can't get over it.
I didn't, and you only showed me about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but last time. I only fucking watched one of them. Johnny watched
This is what we did the other day when I came round. We sat here for hours watching it.
We honestly didn't.
Now
We
I know what you two get up to. This is what happens.
It's lucky
Daddy's not here and the children misbehave.
It's lucky you didn't give me that idea because I would have.
We would have done it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's just so many technical. Now, Johnny knows more about this promotion than I do because, as I say, he's done a deep dive into it. So he'll be able to tell us more about it because once I saw that, I felt like I don't know how far they go. So I didn't want to go any further, but Johnny did. So
I did, yes.
Johnny went pants down, balls down into this company.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, DDT. It stands for Dramatic Dream Team. And they ran from 1997 to 2004. I'm pretty sure they got taken over by someone else after that. And I think they've kept the name DDT.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because the matches that I watched were from 2022.
Yeah, I think it's just... I think it's just owned by someone else now. Now, they do have an annual pay-per-view, a bit like WrestleMania.
Genuinely worried where this is going now.
And it is called Peter Pan.
Oh, fuck, I remember.
They also have a summer pay-per-view called Peter Pan Summer Vacation. And they also have a sort of wintry kind of pay-per-view as well, which is Go Go Neverland.
Why are they all Peter Pan themes?
I'm not quite sure. I couldn't find that out. I did look, but I couldn't find it out.
No.
DDT, it's in many ways a parody of American wrestling, especially WWE.
What the Japanese think is what goes on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that doesn't go on in WWE.
No, it doesn't. Unless you get the Naked Mania, maybe that's all they've seen.
Yeah. But even so, that don't go that far, does it?
No. The big giant panda we were talking about, his name was actually Anrezo the Panda.
Okay.
The giant panda. And he comes out like on special anniversary shows.
Right.
Yes. And he had a match with a Japanese Hulk Hogan, who is basically a Japanese Hulk Hogan, dressed like Hulk Hogan, but he's Japanese Hulk Hogan.
I love the creative development behind that character.
Yes.
Is this where the 9-year-old match happens?
There's the match with, is it Kenny Omega and a 9-year-old girl? That happens on there as well, where she beats him, and it's a good match as well, I think. They also have a few other matches with like a hardcore campsite match. There's a load of tents set up.
I remember this.
It's a bit like Takeshi's Castle, I suppose, in a way.
What an awesome show that was.
Yes.
I'd just like to say, the people who are watching this in the crowd, guys, are middle-aged women, and a lot of them are loving it. Yeah. Like, the crowds, there's a lot of female presence in the crowd, especially even with this arse stuff, isn't there? Yeah. And it's like, they're loving it. It must be a cultural thing, because they absolutely love it.
I think if I was there, I'd be in the crowd, cheering along, dressed as a woman.
Okay, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, on that pleasant note, yes. I'm going home.
They also have a office death match, which is basically some office blocks that they've built especially for the pay-per-view, and they just wrestle through the office blocks.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And one match they have is a silence match, where it is just they can't make noise. There's no noise in the match at all, where they go to slap each other across the chest but have to do it in slow motion because it all has to be silence.
Yeah, I couldn't just pick one here. You can see why when I saw some of these. I couldn't pick one. I had to pick the whole organisation.
They also have a working agreement with AEW, which I don't think I've seen any of their talent actually appear on AEW.
Some people that have come from there have been really like a Bushi and people like that.
Yeah.
The guy from, I think, what's he called? You know the guy who's being underutilised in WWE with the 24? Akira Tozawa.
Yeah.
I think he come from there. Yeah. There was another guy in NXT who used to, he used to dress up like in all this Technicolor stuff. I forgot his name. He was Japanese.
Is he the guy who done CM Punk's the same move? To go to sleep?
No, that's Itami.
I was going to say, he was the one that claimed he had it first, didn't he?
Yeah.
He probably did.
Yeah.
I know, I think I know what you mean, though. And one last thing for it is the champion, whoever the champion is, always has to wrestle with the title on?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, it's just a very strange. I mean, in Japan it's probably really popular, but
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
For a Westerner watching it without any context and all of it being in Japanese, it is like watching another world. Do yourself a favour and go on there. Try and stay away from them arse matches, but there are multiple other ones.
But I bet you don't.
The arse boys. Yeah.
Is it mine? Yes. Again, like my other picks, mine's going to be short and sweet, and it comes from an episode of Monday Night Nitro in 2000, and it is the absolute fucking abomination. It is Shane Douglas versus Billy Kidman, Viagra on a pole match.
Okay.
Thanks, Vince Russo, just for everything that you've ever done. Every piece of shit that you've ever done, because after doing a bit of research, it clearly shows that Vince Russo has a thing for something on a pole matches.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I personally stayed away from Vince Russo on my ones because...
I desperately tried, but this is just fucking
because
terrible.
I could have picked, like, 100, like the 49ers match, it's just loads, like even TNA where he did the reverse battle royal, I think was his idea, and the last rites and things like that. I just didn't want to go down the obvious route of Russo. Did you?
Well, I've actually got a little honourable mention.
God.
A few.
Yeah, I bet there's about hundreds.
Yeah, I think there is a couple on there of maybe Vince Russo.
But it's such a waste of two great talented wrestlers.
Yeah.
Billy Kidman, fantastic high flyer, great moveset, and he, don't get me wrong, he wasn't the most charismatic person, but his talent spoke higher than his charisma. Shane Douglas, don't really need to say a lot about. Shane Douglas was great, really, really great, and massively underutilised. And then you stick him in a fucking dumb feud like this that ends with Viagra on a pole. Fucking shame on you,
Who
Vince
won this
Russo.
match?
Kidman.
I've never watched it all the way through.
All I remember is...
Didn't they have sombreros on?
Oh, I don't remember that bit.
That was probably something else on the pole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was so bad.
Sombrero on a pole match.
Yeah, it probably was.
When he gets maracas.
I've always been under the impression... Have any of you actually been...
That was the best Tatanka impression I've ever heard.
Have any of you ever been under the impression that... I know there's that conspiracy out there. I don't believe in a lot of conspiracies. That Vince Russo was actually sent down there to put the final nail in the coffin.
Do you know what? After doing a lot of research on the shit that Vince Russo produced, I'm starting to think it could be true.
So, because I went and watched like WCW at that time, and it's so bad that like it's almost like you would have to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like that you would want something to be so shit that you would crash it, you would burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
Then he went on to obviously TNA as well, and they didn't stop
what he
there.
did with that and all.
Yeah.
He burnt that out and all very quickly again. But yeah, that's my number one pick.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about that match is Torrie Wilson shoving Billy Kidman's face into the Viagra on the ground.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We actually had quite some good feedback from this one as well. Yeah. I'll start with going to read some of these out. Our first one came from Jim. I want to call it the best, but it's Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
Yeah, this is a Vince Russo.
Yeah. Jim, also again, WCW Triple Cage match has a place in my heart too because it was fucking garbage.
Is that the one Canyon was thrown off the top, a bit like Mick Foley, to the outside?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Wasn't there one where Vince Russo actually won in a triple cage?
Yeah, I think that was
Didn't
on
he
Nitro.
get speared out of the fucking cage by Goldberg or something?
Didn't he win the title?
Yeah, because he got speared out of the cage. I can't remember. I couldn't even bear watching it.
Martin Spargo, thanks for joining in here. Kennel from Hell.
Yeah, we
have covered that.
Yeah,
that
one.
Episode.
That is a fantastic pick, mate. But unfortunately, that one was sort of vetoed by us all because if you go back to, I believe it was episode... No, it was earlier than that. I reckon it was episode 5.
Right.
That was covered at length.
We've got Jim again. Well, I'm here now, so I'm going to add the hog pen match with Henry O. Goodwin, the dog shit match, better name for it, or whatever the hell it was with Bulldog and The Rock. Someone will say Chamber of Horrors with the broken lever.
I like that match,
as Jim says, but I actually enjoyed that Halloween Havoc. To be fair,
I just think again, who was that? Was that Jim?
Yeah,
he's a really good contributor, and we thank you, Jim, because you really really know your stuff. And the thing is, it's not so much the talent, unfortunately, is it, Matt? I think me and you actually spoke about it. I think if you look down there, we said about it. It's the talent in there's amazing. It's what they're working with, and at the end of the day, putting a giant electric chair in the middle, it's just a nightmare for them with the latch coming down. You know, same as Sting. I mean, putting RoboCop with Sting. Sting's an amazing talent.
There we go. You get one in, didn't you? Ben Turner, thanks for commenting. Also, put Punjabi prison match has got to be one of the worst.
I hate that.
Was just a mess every time they tried to do it.
The first time, Great Khali was meant to be in it, and I don't think
I think I wrote that underneath.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
No, I don't know what happened there. Whether he was injured or something, or they had to bring a replacement in. I'm not
Big
sure.
Show the replacement?
Big Show and Undertaker did it. So he wasn't even in his first gimmick match.
Chris Chantry puts, I looked up the Head and Shoulders match with Al Snow.
On my list.
Not as a bad gimmick match, but the topic just reminded me of it. But while I was looking up, it directed me to this. And Chris has actually put the same as one of my picks, Pat Patterson versus Gerald Briscow. Don't blame you at all.
The Head and Shoulders match is awful. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah, wasn't that from King of the Ring?
It was from King of the Ring 98, and basically it was Al Snow and Head versus Jerry Lawler was involved with Too Hot. Were they called Too Hot?
Too Much.
Too Much, that's it.
It was basically before they were too cool.
Yeah, and they were heels. And what they do is they can't pin Head, so they put Head and Shoulders bottle on Head and pin it that way.
And lastly, our good friend and previous competition winner Rob Shepherd has picked gotta be AEW's Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match. We've had bigger explosions in GCSE science.
I can't say I can't say, Rob, that I've actually ever seen that.
It's fucking dreadful.
Is it?
The match is brutal, but the ending's
awful.
Who's in that?
Kenny Omega
and Moxley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like fireworks go off at the end of the explosion.
It's not even that.
No. I think some people lost their job for that.
Two flyers having a like your fart competition could have produced a
Where was
spark.
This done?
AEW pay-per-view.
Is this the one where he fell into the barbed wire that was... Yeah, I have seen the match. Do you know what? I zoned out of that match so much that I must have missed it.
It's horrendous.
It's the one where he picks up the mop or the brush and brushes. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the one where? Yeah, it's where Eddie Kingston comes into the ring at the end, and he just collapses in the ring because the explosion's going to be so bad.
It tries to cover him. And it's Anyway, fuck that. Yes. Great picks, everyone. Thank you ever so much for getting involved.
Thank you. Right,
and get involved more.
Yeah.
Get involved more because this channel is dedicated to you. The Facebook channel is dedicated to you guys.
It's for you guys to, out there and listening, and it's for you guys to reach out, get in touch with us, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions.
Yeah, without prejudice. There's no prejudice within that group. That group is for everyone to have a laugh in. So even if you love Eva Marie, which someone put once, I believe, for a joke, even if you love Eva Marie, you are entitled to your opinion.
You're wrong, but...
you are entitled to your opinion because we've spoken about this just recently. Wrestling, people take wrestling so seriously, guys. Wrestling, everyone's entitled to an opinion because it is a subjective art form. And subjective art means that you all have different emotions and feelings and opinions over things.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay? Yeah. And that's my little rant over. But everyone is entitled to an opinion.
Basically, don't be a dick.
Yes.
We're all here for the same reason.
It's just a bit of fun.
Yep. And none of us are necessarily right. End of.
End round. That's
Okay.
it. Oh, fuck that hurts.
Who has a pick left?
No, we're done.
I've got one.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh.
I've still got one left.
He's got the big boy.
Fuck, I forgot and I read the comments out. Shit,
don't
sorry,
matter.
man.
It's alright, we could break it up a little bit.
That's fine.
I weren't sure if we still had picks or not. I couldn't remember.
I thought we were done.
Right, I've got one more pick.
Go for it.
Okay. This match is so extreme. It is so deadly. It is so terrifying.
What could it be?
I'm actually shaking in fear just thinking about it.
I'll shit myself.
Have you?
Oh, no. Squish.
Now, now it's from the Japanese hardcore wrestling promotion known as FMW, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. And it's from October of 1999. The match I'm talking about involves Mr. Ganasuki, who had actually been wearing a mask and wrestling as Hayabusa. However, the real Hayabusa, now competing as H, was furious and challenged Ganasuki to a match.
I like Sam Jackson.
A match that is much talked about and a match that is much deprived. The match I'm talking about is known as the Anus Explosion Death Match.
Good God.
Oh, fuck's sake.
A match where you must shove a firecracker up your opponent's bottom and light it.
That's unreal.
What could possibly go wrong?
The match itself is actually quite brutal. It features barbed wire, light tubes, probably a chainsaw, an axe, dishwasher, Henry Hoover. But the end result
K-Y jelly.
Yes.
Poor Henry. What's Henry doing in there?
He ain't me. What he might
Oh, was he? Okay. You just put that.
Mate, he has never had a smile on his face since.
He done a lot of cleaning up.
Sphincter everywhere.
Now, the end result saw Ganasuki, the fake Hayabusa, tie up H, the real Hayabusa, insert that firecracker, light it up, and boom! Talk about pain in the bottom.
Hey!
Good God. I tell you what, I stayed as stoic as I could through that because let me tell you guys, when Johnny first did that one, me and Stu were laughing so much that we couldn't continue.
I had such a pain in my jaw from laughing so hard at that last time. I know it's still funny.
I didn't want to stop.
Now I know what it is and what was coming. In my head, I'm going, don't.
Yeah, that's what I was doing throughout that.
Do it again.
I was doing the same, Stu. I was like, don't fucking go because, I mean, oh God.
Oh, it's so fucking bad, isn't it?
Because I honestly didn't know what it was when he said
genuinely, I've never heard of that.
But what revenge, someone's stolen your identity.
Yeah.
The thing you're going to challenge them to is sticking a firecracker up their bottom.
your
arse.
Yeah.
Who come up with that? Who do you imagine the production meeting?
So, I've just had this text from a guy called Vince Russo. Anyone heard of him?
Yeah.
He's just given this great idea for a match.
I think Hayabusa was actually a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's just, I don't know. Yeah, that's it for that. I don't know what else I can add to it.
There you go.
Yeah.
What a cracking way to go. Hey!
Okay.
You know, a sound effects machine, Johnny. I don't even need one.
He's a one-man band. We're going to start calling you Heath Slater.
But you did say when we were back at the Cardiff, I was humming and
different
songs all the time.
I've never heard one man hum so many different...
Yeah, Black Beauty.
I don't know where they even come from. I have all this useless theme tunes in my head that have been stored there for the last 20, 30 years.
You know, the drive on the way to Cardiff, we're having, you know, quite a serious conversation, and then out of nowhere I get... I think even to the point I even put the Terminator theme tune on Spotify just to try and stop you fucking humming it.
Black Beauty.
Oh, I think so.
Well, thanks. Have you fucking finished? Thanks ever so much for reaching out and getting involved in that topic. And like we said previously, fucking get involved. Do not be afraid to, you know, jump in. We'll try not to tag everyone, but, you know, fuck off. That's my dig, all right? For fuck's sake.
You can have a dig. If you want to have a dig, you can have one.
Fucking don't care. Just get involved. It's a bit of fun. You know, like James said, there's going to be no prejudice here. If you want to put down, you know, whoever it was that thought Eva Marie was the greatest ever, you are fucking wrong, mate. But I don't care. It's your opinion. I said, you know, it's just an opinion.
Everyone's opinion matters.
Yeah. Well,
if you want to come at
it's a bit of banter.
Yeah, we're just doing it. We're doing this for a laugh.
We're having a laugh. We're having a good time.
We're not looking for for podcast fucking awards here, you know.
Or fame.
You want to make one though.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Or fucking fame or anything like that. It's three lads chatting bollocks who loved wrestling since, or do love wrestling since
the day we were born.
Yeah, but if anyone at AEW or WWE is listening and would like to, you know, give us some press credentials, we'll act like twats for you.
The problem is, Stu, is I'm not against trolling. I think trolling's fucking hilarious. These people are not trolls; they're tryhards. They're absolutely awful at it.
Like I said to you, if we were only listening, if there was no one or 3 people on the page, I wouldn't care because I still enjoy doing this.
Yeah,
fucking right. Right then, let's go straight into our next topic, which is our best and worst moments from the career of Triple H.
Who wants to start with this one?
It's all about the game.
Do you know what? I'll go first for a change.
Yeah.
I haven't been first for fucking ages, you fucking bastards. Period. I'm going to start. Are we doing best and worst at the same time, or?
Yeah.
Or should we do best?
Should we do best
and worst?
I know for a fact, really, that my worst is the same as Johnny's.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get my worst out of the way first then.
Okay.
My worst moment, unfortunately, is the 2-man Power Trip. And I've just put one word, personally, that sums this up, which is yawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see it. I don't think it centres as much on Triple H as it does on Austin not working.
I just didn't enjoy it. I don't think it was needed.
I just don't think it worked with Austin.
Yeah.
Because Austin turned heel and I thought, that wasn't really liked. And
yeah, thinking of it like that, I think Austin turning heel didn't need to team with Triple H and be too heel. I do like them together, and I like the whole feud with The Undertaker and Kane went on with.
They've done better previously and then post Power Trip, but I wasn't feeling it.
I like it, but I don't like it at the same time.
We also have to factor in there was supposed to be a payoff to it. I don't know if you know the creative that was supposed to happen.
No, I stopped giving a shit.
Triple H,
2 months.
It might have actually turned out okay. What was supposed to happen is that Triple H was supposed to turn face,
right,
and that Austin would go on to an absolute just power trip of his own.
Right.
Keep sacrificing Triple H, and in the end, they'd meet at WrestleMania. With Triple H, did you hear that?
I think I've heard something.
Yeah, that was the idea, but Triple H got injured. If you remember when he done his
quad, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was the idea for WrestleMania. That's where they were going, apparently.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
Apparently.
So I'm getting the negatives out of the way. Don't want to focus on the negatives.
Get the negatives out of the way.
Negatives. Get the positive vibes back in the room.
Well, we've got our worst now, so the negatives
are
going to come back.
Fucking go for it. Bring it on. I'm ready.
So we're doing this one together, or...
I love it when you talk dirty.
Yeah, we can do. Mine is Triple H's run from, I think it was late 2002 to around about 2005.
Yeah, that's what I've got. The whole Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much the Triple H show.
Yeah.
Every episode of Raw.
I tried to stay away from that because I had a feeling that either one of you or both of you was going to have it.
I think it's the most obvious place to go.
Yeah.
Everything was not good. You had, like, this centres around, like, things that people write, like, just as a one-off sort of thing, like Katie Vick, Evolution.
We're talking about that one.
Yep. Evolution. I didn't enjoy Evolution.
No, I'll be honest, I didn't.
I'm not a big fan.
I just thought they were a group that just run over everybody. Yeah, and there was no payoff to...
Yeah, the only thing I did enjoy was the fact that Motorhead got to do another song for him, so I'm fucking happy.
But going into my point of view, and I'll let you just run through yours, Johnny.
Yeah, go for it.
It also has to do a little bit with the opponents, and also I think with The Rock and Austin leaving, I think that they relied too much on Triple H as a star and just thought he was the only one who could carry the belt.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because if you look what they tried to do, they first set him up with RVD. I think it was RVD, and because Ric Flair turned, didn't he?
That's right. Yep.
And Ric Flair turned on RVD in the match and all that. That was a pretty mediocre storyline, something that everyone thought was going to be really good. Then you had just this awful feud with Scott Steiner.
Yeah, terrible.
The whole there was the Kane and Katie Vick thing. That was just a small thing. They also did some really stupid things, like they got rid of the Intercontinental title.
But I said the unification, didn't they?
That was a boring sort of feud.
Well, just think back, Triple H was handed that title as well, because it was meant to be Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, but Brock Lesnar was already the champion and he got drafted to SmackDown.
That's right.
So left Raw with no belt. So they just gave Triple H the title.
Yeah, they gave him the world title. Bischoff handed it to him, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
And I don't think it was Bischoff. I mean, Bischoff never was a promoter at that point. He was a talent, so it was obviously a Vince decision to put it on. But there was a little episode with Shawn Michaels which was quite good.
So with the Shawn Michaels comeback.
Yeah, they had a quite good match at Armageddon.
I always think that match...
3 Stages of Hell.
That's right. That was like the Armageddon one.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was because they had the one at SummerSlam, didn't they, with Shawn Michaels' return.
That was good.
Yeah, I always think that was rushed. Like, everything happened so quick. With like they were DX one night, and the same night Triple H had turned on Shawn Michaels.
Wasn't there a storyline where he got hit with a car?
He got put through the window of a car, and then the camera zoomed in and pixelated it all, and it came out it was Triple H standing next to him. Yeah,
I think the idea was that they weren't sure if Shawn this was a one-off.
Right.
So I'm not sure if they planned ahead for everything. I think that they thought if we do the sledgehammer ending, we can cover our arse on both ways.
Yeah.
You know, but moving on from there, Scott Steiner, I mean, the two didn't click.
Nope.
It was awful.
But they had the 2 matches, didn't they? The one at the Rumble and then No Way Out.
Don't forget the awesome arm wrestling match.
Yep. The Rumble...
The pose off.
The Rumble one, people were quite intrigued to see how the two of them were going to mesh, as I remember.
Yeah, I was quite excited about it.
And it was awful.
Yeah.
And then they did it again and the crowd shit on it. I think they were chanting boring in the middle of it. It was horrendous. Yeah. Then he moves on to Booker T, and this is just a bad booking decision.
Yeah. Booker T should have won this.
Yes, he should.
Hands down.
Booker T was beginning to hit his groove.
Yeah.
And
he was getting over.
That was a point where someone should have gone, we're going with Booker now.
Yeah.
You know, because he was beginning to get that popularity.
Yeah.
And it derailed him.
You obviously had the promo beforehand as well, the whole racist...
I was going to bring that in, but it's so controversial.
Yeah, well, I think it's wise to stay off that one.
But then the end of the match as well, Triple H pedigreed him and took him about 2 minutes to pin him, and Booker T's just laying there.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what was going on. It was not a good time for Triple H. He was not looking at his best at this point.
No.
Obviously, after that, you had the Goldberg coming in, and he had his first loss to Triple H about 2 months after coming in.
Goldberg doesn't lose.
I mean, just the Goldberg feud, again, it's a bit similar to the Steiner thing. It looks good on paper, but when you actually do it, it's not good.
Fucking dull as shit.
Then you went on to Eugene. Just that was him pretty much just taking the piss out of Eugene. This was 2004.
Okay.
Early 2004.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, he's just pretty much just taking the mick out of him on every episode.
Yeah.
They have a match at SummerSlam. Might have been SummerSlam. It was one pay-per-view they had a match on.
It's cringy.
They had the only match that I remember in 2004 Triple H that I really enjoyed was the Shawn Michaels Royal Rumble one.
Yeah, that was.
They had a match where they both went down on the 10 count.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
that was quite a good match.
But the whole Eugene one for me was just
it was just terrible.
It's awful because it just came across as mocking disabilities.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what he was doing.
Yeah, it's not on.
I'm just trying to remember 2004 and Triple H because it's so bad I can't even remember.
He obviously went on to
Evolution,
the Randy Orton thing as well, where Orton won the title the next night. He's turned it on Orton, and then just beats him for the title the following month. And it just carries on to Batista, really.
Yeah, the Reign of Terror ends with Batista, doesn't it, at WrestleMania?
It was just,
It was not a good time. It was
boring.
20-minute promos on every show.
Yeah.
He was appearing 4 times per Raw and SmackDown.
It was just poor.
It was ego. It was all.
Yeah.
I think I read or heard that he was trying to be the Harley Race of this generation.
Didn't work.
No.
That was a blight on his career.
Yeah,
that era was a blight. But
we can at least look forward to better things.
Yes. And it's your go.
It is.
I think we'll leave it. I think we've covered most of it. It's just an era dominated by Triple H, which is extremely boring.
It's just sadly, it just wasn't done well.
No,
it just came across as more egotistical than anything else.
Yeah.
Right, let's get to the positives.
Yes.
My best moment, personally, I felt for Triple H was WrestleMania 28, the end of an era match.
Yeah.
Triple H versus The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as a special guest ref.
Oh, God, there's such a good match and underrated.
It's, like I said, it is, and even they've said it themselves, it is an end of an era match. That ending with all three of them helping each other up the ramp that's a proper WrestleMania moment. And it's such an iconic moment when you see all three of them turn round and acknowledge the crowd because they know that is an end of an era moment. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I had goosebumps watching that for the first time, and it's beautiful, beautiful moment to watch.
I watched that match live.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that, and actually, I can't remember for the longest time me having my hands on my head going, what the fuck? Like, what's going to happen? Like, for every count. Like, Michaels played that referee's role so well. Like, he would go for a 3 count, and one of them would kick out and he'd go into the corner almost crying, like he didn't want to do it, or it was emotionally draining, and it was a great
phenomenal match.
And it's not talked about enough,
it's
actually.
Not. That's exactly why I went for that one. It's not talked about enough, and it needs way more recognition than it's actually got.
It doesn't get enough, actually.
Yeah, it's a great match. Was that their last match? They did have another one, didn't they, following that at Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, but this was
the
that shouldn't have ever took place.
No.
They were all badly out of shape for that.
Yes.
Everyone was a little bit pissed off when they even brung that up. Like when they, with the whole Shawn thing, like, you retired because you were scared of me and all that. And it sort of fucked it up because it should have been left where it was.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant ending to a story.
We're supposed to be on the fucking positive bit.
It's
Fuck off!
Right.
Be happy, you miserable shits.
Who's next?
You!
Me! Okay.
Be happy!
Right, I did have my pick all prepared, but I've just this second changed it.
Oh!
Yes.
I wonder what you were scribbling.
Now, I was going to go for Triple H the day after WrestleMania 14, becoming the new leader of DX, and going on from there.
Mm.
But I've decided to change it, and I've gone for...
Katie Vick.
Yes, I have. How did you know?
Sorry.
I've gone for Triple H and the year 2000. I love this Triple H. I think this is possibly one of my favourite Triple H years that he's done.
Absolutely.
You obviously had the whole Royal Rumble with Cactus Jack. Going on to No Way Out, the Hell in a Cell match with Cactus Jack again.
I can do it every time you say his name.
Going on to WrestleMania 2000, which I think, if I remember correctly, he was the first heel to win at a WrestleMania main event when it was the four-way match with The Rock.
Right.
He wasn't.
Was he not?
No. Yokozuna.
Yokozuna,
yeah.
yes, yeah. We'll forget that.
I think.
It was Yoko.
We'll find out later.
I'm pretty sure it was Yoko. So Mick Foley was in that match as well. And The Rock. Who else was in that match? Big Show and...
Angle?
Was it Angle? No. It was meant to be Jericho.
What are we talking
WrestleMania
about?
2016.
It was Big Show. It was Mick Foley as himself. It was The Rock and Triple H in a four corners McMahon family feud.
Yes. Obviously, he went on to
You smug kid.
one of my favourite matches ever.
Take me on trivia, guys.
The following month, it was Judgment Day. One of my favourite matches of all time, the Rock and Triple H Iron Man match with The Undertaker comes back at the end. They go the whole 60 minutes. It just goes on. There's the SummerSlam match with Angle and The Rock. There's the match with Austin. I think there's something happens where he's like bitten by the snake or something, and which leads on to Austin and Triple H match. I think it happens on the SmackDown. Austin traps him in the room, and there's a snake in there, a rattlesnake.
That's 99.
Is that 99?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That is 99, yes.
Yeah, because the 2000 match happens because Rikishi's not getting over as the main person who run Steve Austin over, so they say Triple H is the mastermind.
Yes, that's right. Like I said, I've only just chose this.
Literally.
This one, yes.
Literally just been scribbling that.
Yeah,
down.
the whole year, just that Triple H, just the look of him, everything. I just loved it. Yeah.
I think we have to factor in as well is that we didn't have an Austin and we didn't have an Undertaker. We had a Mankind or Mick Foley who was retiring, and Triple H and The Rock just kept that company going. Like that feud.
They upped the games.
Because that feud was still running on shows, even when Mick Foley and Cactus Jack, that fight was going on.
Yeah.
Like there was still The Rock behind in the feud. And those two, to such credit, because when you lose your big star, it is worrying.
Yeah.
And I remember Austin saying, this is quoting Steve Austin, I remember him saying, I was so worried about coming back because those two had done such a good job.
Yeah. They'd moved themselves up because the following year, they were in the match at SummerSlam for the IC title. So they'd moved from the Intercontinental title up into the world. Like, gone from mid-card to main event.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to sound smug, but you're a year out.
Am I a year out?
Yeah, SummerSlam 98 is the ladder.
Yes, 98.
You're in a 99, 2000 flux.
99 was the Mankind, Austin, Triple H, and Triple H was the title the following night.
Yes,
that's it. Yeah, like I said, I've only just decided to do this one.
Yep.
Mate, kudos
You
to
did
you,
well.
man. Yeah, you did really well.
So
Anyway.
sorry to be there. I didn't want to.
I'm glad you were here.
I don't want to be that guy, but you're wrong.
because the first time they really, and this is an underrated match, guys, if you get a chance to watch this, the first time The Rock and Triple H really started to show that they could be main event together was the strap match.
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a great underrated match. And not a lot of people talk about that match. It was an amazing match, and it really made everyone start to believe these two are going to be the feuding future guys.
I've always been gutted that they never had another match. Like, they teased it a couple of years ago. They both appeared. It was either, they did the thing at WrestleMania.
They were supposed to.
Yeah, and they had like an interaction on SmackDown backstage.
Yes, they were supposed to have a match. So my pick is going to include... Well, I can include that off of my pick because BT Sport did a interview. Have any of you watched that interview in full?
I know the one that you...
And they asked Triple H about The Rock coming back. And he says, we were actually supposed to have a match. I think it was about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But his schedule didn't work out.
It was something to do with Fast and Furious.
But the real annoyance in 2000 was the main event of WrestleMania should have just been Rock and Triple H.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because they did it at Backlash instead, didn't they?
That's right, yes.
But they should have done it at WrestleMania because it didn't need a four corners.
No. But yeah.
Kicking Mick Foley out of that match. You fucking bastards.
Mick didn't want to be in that match.
Oh, no.
Have you watched?
Him talk about
Linda McMahon, wasn't it?
Yeah, she picked Mick. They asked Mick to come back.
Yeah, it's one of a handful of times where he's wrestled under his own name.
He didn't want to do it because he'd just retired and they made him come back and do the WrestleMania match.
Because it was meant to be Jericho was in the match, weren't he?
That's where the look at Foley fly thing comes from.
Look at Foley go.
Yeah. It's because he was out of shape.
Yeah.
Who was Jericho supposed to replace him? Was it meant to be Foley?
Jericho was originally,
Wasn't it Big Show?
apparently, supposed to be the other one. Let me say that properly. Jericho originally was supposed to be Mick Foley.
Yeah.
But they didn't feel that he was big enough yet.
Yeah, that's right.
To take it on. I think it was the right decision if in a four corners. He was still finding his feet. It wasn't until what was it? What's that pay-per-view called? Fully Loaded. He had that last man standing match with Triple H and that absolutely elevated him.
That was a great match, yeah.
Yeah, that was 2000, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it was 2000.
Because those two had the match. It wasn't over anything. It wasn't for a title or anything. It was just a bad blood feud match. It was great. Was
it previous to that Jericho had beaten Triple H for the title on Raw?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with the fast count.
Yeah. Yes. So there we go.
Great pick.
Triple H.
Is it down to you?
Yep. Mine's short and sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, so knowing more about Triple H's health scare, which we now know more about because he's come out and talked about it, we all had heard that Triple H was unwell. We weren't sure how unwell. We were all hearing different reports as fans that this was life-threatening, that this wasn't, that there was something going on behind the scenes. But the truth of the matter was, as we all know now, he nearly died.
Yeah, absolutely.
From a really strange, rare type of heart failure, apparently.
That's right.
And mine is just simply the fact that he survived that and he was able to leave his boots in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania 38.
That is just a beautiful moment.
It is now, we know, because when he first come back, it all seemed a bit strange when he was doing it. We knew that he'd said he was going to retire, but we didn't have the full context of what had happened.
The whole reasons why it was kept incredibly quiet.
Yeah, but now you know, if you go back and watch it, it's actually quite emotional to watch.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You need to go back and watch it again because now you know how close to death he was, and the fact that he was able to come out and do that must have meant shit tons to him. And I think that's a really important moment.
Great.
So
I think
it's as
they've all
simple
been
as
great
that.
picks, to be honest. Really great picks.
2000 was my second one. That's why I got involved in it so much.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did
fine,
because I messed it up.
Absolutely fine. Great picks. Right.
Okay.
And as always, we shall go into the news. I do, because we were originally going to do a brief discussion about Extreme Rules. If you guys are happy to still just have a few minutes to talk about that briefly.
I don't think we need to go over the results.
No.
Do you?
There's only one match I really want to talk about.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is brief, and I think it was a standout match for the whole pay-per-view, which was the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium.
Yeah, it was a great match.
No, great match.
It kind of had the same feeling to it, the match that we saw at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah, yeah.
The crowd were into it.
Yeah,
it was a great opening match.
Yeah.
But if I'm totally honest with you guys, the rest of the pay-per-view for me was...
Very lackluster.
Yeah. It wasn't... It was passable.
But
Then we did have one surprise at the end.
Yeah, well, this is going on... I mean, if this would have been done a week ago, this would have been more relevant, I think. Because this is all about the White Rabbit and all of the hype that's been going on with the QR codes and things like that. One thing that... God, we sound like smug, especially me. I sound like a smug bastard. Me and Stu, thanks to Stu, knew who it was. We can say we knew who it was because we can back it up.
Yeah. We've got the private messages.
Yeah, we knew who it was.
And this was a long time ago when this first started.
This was back on the 4th of July. So me and Stu look heavily into everything that Bray writes. And we noticed a post about South Arkansas.
Yeah.
And could you please direct me to the... anyone who is around the area, could you direct me to the Devil's Hole?
Yeah.
So, as a different hobby, I do urbex.
Yeah.
Right? So, I immediately went and looked up this Devil's Hole. And there was only one link to it at the time.
Yeah.
Now there's millions.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But at the time, it brung up one link and it brung up a page. And we would have never solved this. We're not saying we solved it straight away.
But we were pretty fucking close.
But we got the page. Because this was the killer. So in the Facebook group, guys, when we were going quite smugly, we solved this. We did. It was called Finding Ozarks, this page. And I couldn't make anything out on it. And Stu said, I think it's got something to do with it still. I think it's got something to do with his return, so I kept it in the back of my mind. And when the White Rabbit music started to play, I then went back through all the tweets and everything that we had been talking about, and I found this site. Well, lo and behold, when I find the site, the moderator is White Rabbit.
Yeah.
And it come from Bray back on the 4th of July. It was cemented for me then that it was Bray. Because there was no other way of who else it could be from just that. Because, do you know what I mean? It's if you go on that page, and I'll send a link to that page, it's got loads of little white rabbits around it. Yeah. And a big white rabbit as a moderator under the thing. And it says, under the moderator, it says, I live in this area and can show you the way. Yeah.
I think the final nail in the coffin for me when it was, I was about 98% sure.
I was sure as hell.
This was going to be him. And then he posted the tweet where he was quoting Dante.
Yeah.
And it was like, straight away, fuck, it's happening. It's fucking happening.
No, I knew from the Ozarks.
Oh, like I said, I was 98%. I just wanted that 2% of me to go, please.
Me and Stu were so into it. We were trying to work out what an Ozark was, what relevance it had to Bray. There was loads of other legends on there. Yeah. All we were missing was that song called White Rabbit. Yeah. Basically, if we'd have had that, we'd have got it.
Thank you, Jefferson Airplane. Yeah. Just, wow. But as soon as, great song. Yep. Loved it.
As soon as that cryptic shit started happening, I went through all the old stuff. Yeah. And just to let you know, guys, you can actually see on episode 9, me solving all of them in little Easter eggs that are at the bottom of the page in the description.
Yeah,
Have you actually looked at that?
It is,
I have gone through it with him, yeah. I have seen it.
But it was a great return. Even though they botched the fucking light out on the lantern.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Like, as soon as it happened, I thought that wasn't meant to happen.
But that pop was just, it was so well deserved. And then this, because this is to do with the news, this leads me on to the first SmackDown appearance. I don't know about anyone else, but I truly do believe that speech was from his own heart.
I believe it was a work shoot. I believe that the first part of it. I believe the first part of it was real.
Yeah.
But I believe that that it was still there to set up what was coming with the face. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he knew exactly where he was going from it, but everything he said, I think was true.
Yeah. I especially love the moment when that guy in the crowd shouted, "We love you, Bray," and he broke character and went, "I love you too, man."
he broke character when he had the lantern.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it back, he's crying when he's got the lantern.
And it's beautiful.
After he spins it, he'll put it up and you can see he's got tears in his eyes there.
Was that on SmackDown?
Yeah. Here's the only thing.
Oh, don't you dare knock this.
Not at all.
This has got to be one of my favourite moments of the year.
Not at all.
Good.
I'm not knocking it one little bit.
Keep that aside for our awards show.
Oh, mate. I was ready to throw fists there, man.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
There are certain times he's talking to the fans.
Yeah.
But there are certain times where I think he's talking to someone else.
And this is exactly what I think happened last night on SmackDown.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, mate.
Right, now, without me seeing it, see if I'm a little bit right here, right? He was saying, "You all helped me. You all did this. You know who you are."
Yeah.
I think that some of it, I think most of it was emotionally real, but I think some of it, I think there's other people he's talking about.
Yeah,
and another person who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen SmackDown.
Oh, you are in for something good.
So that's what I think. And I think his first feud is going to be with him.
Yeah, I also think that there's going to be some sort of feud with himself, with his inner self. Something's going to be there.
But I did write that last week.
Yeah, I know.
Last week.
Oh, mate.
Did I get it close?
Yeah.
Cool.
You need, we're going to have to watch this, just YouTube it afterwards. But yeah, what a return.
Yeah, it was a good return.
It's a phenomenal return, and it is a fucking deserved return. And talking of returns, that's something else I wanted to talk about in the news as well. A lot of where, obviously, we have seen a lot of returns recently. I just wanted to, see how you guys thought about some of the more recent returns as well.
We were going to do this as a topic, and I think it's good for the news. There's been a lot of talk recently of, is there too many?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm starting to feel like Triple H is bringing back too many people.
Okay.
If they're used right, then that's fine. But there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a stop. We don't need any more people for this time.
We've also recently seen returns to NXT.
Yeah.
Nakamura's gone back to NXT.
Has he really?
Yeah.
That's clever.
Ripley went to an episode of NXT.
I don't think it'll be a permanent thing though, will it?
I think Nakamura's is going to be.
It might be.
Had that feel.
Someone else went back. Didn't Apollo Crews go back?
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah, doing really well. He's got a hell of a career there at the moment.
Do you want to chime in on the returns or what you feel?
You've obviously got the recent
You're
ones.
allowed an opinion, by the way.
Yeah, oh, brilliant, thank you.
That's
I'm glad
okay.
I'm not going to get fucking persecuted for that.
Well, you might do out in La La. You might do out in La La Land, but in here you're out.
We got the likes of Cora Jade, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai.
Candice LeRae, I haven't really seen enough of her. I don't think to really.
Her husband, Johnny Gargano. Don't you fucking dare.
Johnny Gargano, okay,
He's got your fucking name. You should just be happy, you know.
Right. He's a good wrestler, okay? I think he's good.
I know what's going, but prick.
Get out.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not. You're not even having one of them. No. Out. Go on, get out.
He is a good wrestler.
He is.
I won't not give him that.
Then we'll just end it there.
It's just
Shit's gonna go down if this carries on, Johnny.
I don't know what it is about him. I don't know. I wasn't a massive fan of him in NXT either. I liked him. I liked some of his matches. But I don't know.
Fucking face right now.
I've never been.
Haven't we had this argument before?
We have, I think. Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of him.
To come in the middle. I am a massive fan of him.
Don't you dare say it as well.
I have to say a certain thing, and it's not on him. I don't think we fully know where his place is in the cards yet. Yeah. I think we're still in early doors with him, and I don't think at the moment he feels a little bit like almost lost.
Yeah, I'm just about to say.
Like, we're not sure where
he's just been placed.
But that's a creative thing that they've got to do to move forward.
James's answer, brilliant. That's a proper middleman answer.
It's not I don't
Your
like
answer,
him.
You can fuck right off.
It's not I don't like. I do like him.
I don't think it's even a middleman answer.
Oh, you just ruined it for yourself.
I don't. No, because I'm the same as you.
Right.
My theory on it is he's just come back to Raw and he's coming into the shuffle, and we've got to find out that's where he's got to sort of cement himself back
that's
in.
What I should have said.
See, I was literally about to say, if you'd have said that, I'd have shook your hand. But
should we delete that bit?
No, we're keeping it. You can stuff your words and you can listen to it and then sit in a corner and think about how much of a twat you were for saying
I never said I didn't like him.
Mate, you might have just had a shit and wipe your ass with a Johnny Gargano t-shirt. And then I'm going to rub your nose in it and tell you what a bad boy you are.
Okay, do you want my...
I don't think I'll buy a t-shirt.
Sorry, I think we're... mate. I don't know what you're getting for fucking Christmas.
So we're talking about the returns.
Yeah, other names that have come back.
I'm not so much going on names. I'm just going on the fact of, is there too many returns?
Yeah.
Yes and no. It depends on how they're used. Everyone... from, again, episode 1, will know, and they can listen back, and Stu, you'll be big on this with me. You know this is a massive thing with me. I am a huge fan of factions.
Yeah.
If you faction everyone off, it can work.
Yeah.
If you don't, it can't. Because you've got too many people with different personalities all feuding singly.
Yeah.
If you have a united goal within a faction, then you can group people together and play them off against each other. Yeah. It's an easy read for the audience. Yeah, like Judgment Day. So, not the greatest fan, but similar to...
Mate, that was way better than I thought you were going to say. Not the Judgment Day. What a pile of shit.
But you bring back...
Fucking Eddie Guerrero. Dominic, that's his name.
Dominic.
Here's a perfect example. AJ Styles. Languishing a bit. Bring back the OC.
Brilliant. I was really happy with that.
Now you've got a faction.
Oh, mate. Seriously?
Now you've got a faction. Now you've got two factions fighting over something.
Yeah.
Me and you are going to have fucking words later.
I don't like the OC. But not the OC. I don't like... Gallows and Anderson. I've never been a big fan. I see they've got the history there and everything. I didn't like him in AEW. I'm not a big fan of them.
Watch their work in New Japan, mate.
They bore me a bit.
They don't, and I'm hoping that James is going to back me on this. But look at the work those two have done with the Briscows.
Yeah, they are a good team.
Fucking.
Again, my thoughts on it are. Take AJ Styles.
Yeah.
AJ Styles versus Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
No.
Edge versus Judgment Day.
Boring.
But these are all single people fighting one person. They're all place a faction against another faction, and it makes at least 6 to 7 people all relevant.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And
mate,
if
I'm
you
on board,
do
mate.
that, if you do that all the way down, and this is not an old concept, this is actually an Attitude Era concept. What Triple H, I think, is coming up with, similar to whether you like them or not, Damage Control. Put another women's group.
Love it.
Yeah, put another women's group, a face women's group.
Seriously, fucking have a word with your mate here. What is wrong with you?
I like Damage Control, but I think they're getting a little bit stale.
He's not the only one who feels this. He's not the only one who feels this, and I'm not meaning me. This is big all over the news.
I like them. I just think they're getting a bit stale.
A lot of people were fed up with the fact that apparently, because they've looked weak, Bailey went down to Belair and all the others have gone down to Belair, and it's almost like, where do you go from here?
Yeah, it's exactly it.
That's how most people are reacting to them now. They're going, you buried them a bit. That's honestly a lot of people's opinion online.
That's exactly what
and they're entitled to their opinion.
No.
I do like them all, but yeah, I just...
I personally am a fan of it. I wouldn't have... I would have had Bailey go over.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
In the last one, because I think that Belair's had the title for a long time now, and I think it needs freshening up.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that. Not you, Johnny. Not you, James.
I also think that you can make them extremely arrogant with all belts.
Yeah.
And you can build them up.
Even like the Undisputed Era treatment.
A little bit, but again, me and you were not as big on that. I wasn't as big though. I felt that they had everything too long.
Yeah.
I felt that they were nearly unstoppable, and it was almost it kind of put me off.
And I've never been a huge fan of Adam Cole, like I mentioned in the previous episode.
Right now. Oh my god!
I tell you,
you said his name wrong.
They reminded me a bit of in NXT Bloodline.
Who?
Bloodline, where they've got everything, and no one can touch them.
Talking of the Bloodline and factions,
bored of that.
We've got War Games coming up soon. And have you had any idea who you think you might be the two teams?
I think it's too early for the Wyatt.
Well, after
situation.
Last night's SmackDown, it kind of seems to be headed in this direction, I think. You've got the Bloodline and the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah.
They were attacking each other and everything at the end. It was a one-on-one match with Sheamus and...
Newbie.
Siaka...
Soka.
Yes.
So, that's it.
And they all started brawling at the end. So I feel like that's going to... Because it's not far off.
I do.
I don't think there's enough story development time if you really want to work with Bray for him to be in a War Games match with the Hulk.
No, I totally agree.
Because I've heard...
Don't get me wrong, but I know people have put the, simulated kind of picture up. But yeah, I totally agree. There's not enough time to develop that. And Bray is all about character development. There's not enough time. But the Brawling Brute setup...
It started.
Yeah. Now, did you guys hear Triple H's view on Bray? Because I thought that was really important.
Yes.
That was from the Clash at the Castle interview. Did you hear that, Johnny?
I've heard something, but I can't quite remember what it is.
He said he's a creative genius, but at the same time, he's like a whirlwind of ideas that needs to be centred. And when he gets somewhere, he needs to stay focused and straight on what he's doing. So I think that Triple H... not in a bad way, has got Bray on a bit of a leash and is watching him.
Yeah.
Not in a controlling way, but he's just going
in a
to
longevity
him,
way.
Almost going to him like sort of, because it's well known, like he's kind of like a bit of a father figure to them NXT guys going, remember where we're going.
Yeah.
Like that. And I think Bray's behind a lot of it, but I think he's got Triple H behind him going,
it's
Bray,
almost like the quality, not quantity.
Yeah, like going, Bray, we need to get from A to B, not take about 20 detours off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do. I think this is going to...
If that is the case, kudos to both of them.
Yeah, that's just good man management.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know who it's going to be. Do you know what I think would be really cool? And it would be the only thing that would be annoying is it would probably be
us three.
It would probably be really, really obvious who was going to win.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Imperium team with the Brawling Brutes to take them on.
Well, you think you need another member because you've only got the 3 for the Brutes. Haven't you? You've got Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and...
What I really
Rich.
don't want to happen is there's no disrespect to the guy, I don't want Strowman brought in.
I can't see how it makes any sense.
Exactly.
No.
I've just got this horrible feeling that they're going to bring a monster.
No, do you know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to unify with the Imperium.
I'd love to see that.
How many members of the Bloodline are there? You've got Roman Reigns...
6.
Jay and Jimmy,
Is there 6?
Sammy,
6, isn't it?
Roman, the twins, Sammy, Zuko, 5.
5, okay. So no, it won't be.
No. I don't know who else it could be.
Unless someone from the Brutes or Imperium gets taken out, and then you are left with 5.
Maybe.
They've created a little bit of a monster with the Bloodline. I know everyone likes them.
I don't.
Do you think Logan Paul's going to beat Roman?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. It's ironic you should say this. Yeah, I recently did see a video of Logan Paul being interviewed, and it was obviously like someone else's podcast. It was a live stream interview, and someone asked the question to Logan, how soon do you think it will be before Jake gets involved? New and inevitable.
I don't know what to say.
Just fuck off.
The problem is this is a difficult thing because we're a different generation, and
We're not dicks.
No, and I don't like them. I don't like them personally.
Yeah.
But as a promoter, I can see why you would make this match because the spotlight of all of his fans and WWE are now on this. And it's a lot of people.
It's a hot ticket sale.
We might not like it, but the Jake Paul gang do. And it brings in a new audience, and I can see why you would do it. Similar to what I was talking about with the Bray thing the other day on the Facebook thing, where I could see why you'd take the Undertaker streak away and put it on someone as a rocket ship. Can see why you'd do it. Would I do it? No. But it's the same thing.
No, I get it totally. I really do. But
I'm not a fan.
No.
I don't think he'll win the title.
No, he won't. No.
Have you seen him train him?
Yeah. Kudos to him for the training. I just think he's a knob.
He's just not a likeable person, is he?
No, neither of them are.
Especially
I'm
the brother.
really holding
the brother.
back here.
Yeah.
I'm really, especially
you
with
don't
the
have
brother.
to.
No, I'm not going into it.
The brother's a real
dick.
bell end.
Yeah. I'm a professional fighter, but not fought a professional boxer yet. Don't, Stu. Don't.
What's the next pay-per-view coming up? It is the Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
Yeah, Crown Jewel.
They've announced all the matches now, I think, for it.
I've only seen 2.
There's the cage match with Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yeah, I've seen 3, sorry then.
Omos versus Strowman.
Okay, 4.
Bailey versus Belair, I think.
Didn't see that one. Lashley and Lesnar.
Yes, I'm quite looking forward to this. I think Lashley's been shown in a different way.
I hope so.
Considering the first match they had, Lesnar just destroyed it.
Well, he's really the champion on Raw.
Yeah. And
well, not anymore, is he? Because he lost the US title.
No.
But
Lashley went at him and put Brock Lesnar through the table.
I know.
Oh yeah, that looked brutal.
So I think that's going to be a good match.
It's the death of Antonio Inoki.
Yeah.
Inoki was just I don't know if you would say the Vince McMahon of Japan, but a close.
Yeah.
We're talking to the point of this guy was actually in politics.
He went through, he debuted in 1960.
Yeah.
Back then, and he retired in 98, so he was wrestling for a very long time.
Yeah. Is it the Giant Bubba over there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two at one point, especially those two, were really, really dominant promoters within Japan, and just so much influence. Things that you see now from New Japan. I mean, yeah, it's a real shame.
He had the match with Muhammad Ali back in 1976.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember seeing footage of that. Yeah.
He also won the World Wrestling Federation title.
He did, but it's not recognised though.
It might change now.
Yeah, possibly.
I hope so.
Did you know as well, back in 1989, where you mentioned about the politics, that he successfully spoke to Saddam Hussein and got him to release some of the hostages?
Yep,
Holy shit.
I did.
Oh, wow.
He's an extremely influential man.
Wow,
Yeah.
didn't know that.
There's also a great match with him, you should go check out, from WCW Clash of the Champions 28, and he takes on William Regal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Very good match.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, Inoki, I mean, again, we talked about Inoki and his influence. I mean, he even managed to put on, I mean, it was for his political, it was political more than anything, but he even managed to get American wrestlers into fucking North Korea.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he was extremely influential and massive loss.
Yeah.
Massive loss.
Huge loss.
We need to cover that because that's a massive story.
Yeah.
Anything from AEW?
Yes. Obviously, we've all known everything that's gone on with CM Punk, Tony Khan, and the EVPs, or the Elite, as you want to call them. There has been some breaking news in the last sort of 24 hours that AEW are basically going through the legal process of buying out CM Punk for his remaining years of his contract.
Where's this come from?
A couple of different websites.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. We all know as well Ace Steel has been fired. Personally, I am gutted, but I could never have seen any other way out of it. It had to happen. It's tarnished what should have been a great return.
Oh yeah.
And now his career's done. It's over.
I was a huge CM Punk fan.
Same. This has made me see him in a completely different light, in all honesty.
I knew he had this other side to him. I've always known him as being bitter, and you could just tell that there's something else there. But when this happened, you could tell it was the end.
It's the final nail in his coffin. Yeah. He's done.
Where does he go from here? Does
he can't.
Go back to WWE?
No, they won't have him. No way.
No.
Why would you? Why would you risk it?
What does he do? He doesn't. Is there where he can go?
Ring of Honor going to have him? No. Tony Khan owns it.
Impact?
Absolutely not. They won't fucking touch him. Why would they?
It's just...
He's done. And I'm genuine, I'm gutted. But you've shit on your own doorstep.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
But on the plus side, and there is a fucking plus side to this, the younger talent that is in that company now has been given that massive spotlight. With all this bad shit going on in the background, there's been some amazing matches and young talent coming through right now.
Yeah.
For me personally, I feel like I've got AEW back.
Yeah, same.
You know, that you get more spotlight on people who are a positive influence, like the Acclaimed.
Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia's been fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got MJF just killing it.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment. They don't actually need those people.
No.
The only one, and we don't know how much he's got left in the tank, that would be a big loss in my mind, would be Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I don't want Kenny Omega to go. Because when I think of AEW, I think of Kenny Omega. I also think of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I still think of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You know.
I think Kenny Omega will come back. I think the Young Bucks will come back as well. But yeah, like you said, the talent has been coming through. I still think the company have too many wrestlers, and they're still signing people now. They signed another 2 this week.
Yeah, they did. I can't remember the names, but yeah.
Willow, I think her name was.
Yes.
Oh, I quite liked her. I
don't know anything about her.
Is she the girl who's like a little bit plus sized?
Yes.
I liked her. This is what I mean. This was a breath of fresh air for me to watch AEW the other day, because I had a look at her in the women's division, and I thought she was really unique, her style. I really enjoyed watching her. I think she's got the potential to do really well.
Okay.
The only thing I worry about is that if someone they've brought in, they'll push them a little bit and then they'll disappear again. Same thing with Ruby Soho. She left for WWE because she weren't being used. She came to AEW. She had 2 big matches. She hasn't been seen since.
She's injured at the moment.
I'll take that back then.
Yeah, because I've only recently seen her post photos and videos. She's had to have no surgery because the last match that she had, they did a fucking hell of a number on her nose.
Okay.
Really, really damaged. By all accounts, I think it's complete reconstructive surgery.
Right, I see.
Yeah, it's properly fucking done a number on her. She's going to be out for quite some time.
Wow.
Another guy I would like to come back, I would like to see more of, is Eddie Kingston. I haven't seen him. I feel like this year
Japan.
he hasn't had a great year, but I feel like he can be used a lot more. People do like him.
I really want to see Brian Cage more. He's if you're going to have powerhouses in there, fucking use them. Use them as a powerhouse. Stick them with a manager or a valet or something.
He's in some group, isn't he?
Yeah, but they're all fucking deadbeats.
I think 2 or 3 years ago I'd agreed with you.
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 years ago I would have agreed with you on the basis that he would have had time to develop. I think he's been out in the sticks now for a little while too long.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
We don't attack those.
No.
One group. The thing is, sometimes with AEW, they try stuff and I feel like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they don't always give up with it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you've got this new group with WM Morrissey, Ethan Page, and it's basically just the Hardy or Andrade family.
Yeah.
It's no different to that.
I will give him his credit, Morrissey, or Big Cass, whatever you want to call him. He had a phenomenal run on Impact.
Yeah.
He's
I do
brilliant.
like him. I think he's good. I think he's really turned himself around.
Yeah. He's, you can see his progression on his mic skills as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. When it was him and Cass, Cass was always the main star, and he was the muscle behind him. But he's worked, man, and he's come through some real hard shit.
He went through a lot of troubles and stuff. But I'm surprised he never went back to WWE. I thought he would go back there instead of going to AEW.
I think where he's obviously been given the chance to work his craft with, on the indie circuit first.
He's enjoyed it more, I suppose.
I think
he's got the freedom to do what he wants.
Yeah, he's redefined himself. It's given his own self-confidence a boost.
Yeah.
He's been able to sort out his mental health. Well, I'm not saying he's 100% better with mental health wise, but he's mentally
improved.
stronger.
Yeah.
He's there, and he's had an amazing comeback. Yeah. And I hope AEW capitalise on it. If there's anyone there that, not that I'm saying, well, there probably is, because Tony Khan listens to our podcast all the time. Mate, do something with him.
WM Morrissey.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a good run.
I was just saying about the group. Sometimes with AEW, they try things, they don't work, but they don't always give them at the moment. They're not giving up with them. And you've got this new group with WM Morrissey, Ethan Page, I think Scorpio Skies, and there's a couple of others.
Page has been killing it recently.
I love Ethan Page.
Fucking
the Gun Boys as well in the group as well.
Ass Boys.
It's basically the same as the Hardy Boys.
Ass Boys.
The Hardy. But yeah, it's basically the same as the Hardy Family Office thing, which Andrade took over. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think personally that AEW need to focus similar to what WWF did back in the day when WCW started. I think this is where, because I'll clarify this for people in the groups. There are certain people in the group who I get on with really, really well, who maybe think I don't like AEW. I actually do. I was very disappointed with AEW. The reason being is I felt they fell into the same trap as WCW. And what that it was buying WWF talent and using them instead of the people underneath who were young and hungry. And what I mean by that is, your Dustin Rhodes, who turned into gold. Dustin made himself a star in WWE. Your Mick Foley, who went to ECW. He was fired by WCW, but then went to WWE and his career took off. Steve Austin, who was fired by WCW and then went. These guys, they were mid-carders, but then rose up in WWE. Yeah. They don't even need to do that. They've got your Jungle Boys there, your Darby Allins. Focus on these guys. Don't worry about bringing people in to make a big name like your CM Punks. Yeah. Focus on these guys and keep your trusted veterans like your John Moxleys and your Chris Jerichos to nurture these guys and just let them go because they're hungry.
TNA did the same thing, didn't they? They had all their own talent, and then WWF, they got all their ex-wrestlers they didn't want anymore.
Yeah, no what happens.
Push them out, yeah.
However, on the plus side of that, though, you know, like I said, with all this bad shit that has gone on for AEW, they are on a massive rise at the moment, and I hope it does continue. Two guys in particular that have stood out, and all I'm going to say is 3 words, which is "Scissor Me Daddy."
Yeah, they've been great.
Those that can't do that, Johnny just scissors me.
They've been absolutely great, and they're a breath of fresh air.
Killing it, man.
I tell you what they remind me of, and it's funny that Billy Gunn's in there. They remind me of a more positive version of DX. Yes. They remind me of a new age DX. Yeah. And they've got that
new
freshness.
Age outlaws.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's really fucking weird. They've got that same organic likability that DX had in a new era where it works and it's fresh and it's original and it's
fun.
It's amazing as well because
it's fun.
So why would you need to bring anyone in?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Let them go. Let them go.
Two wrestlers were never meant to be put together. If Tony Khan saw them and thought, team up together, I think you'll be both good together.
Neither were the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Yeah. One other thing about Page coming to AEW.
I wish her all the best.
Good luck is all I'm going to say.
I wish her all...
worried.
Yeah.
Cleared to wrestle.
I think we've talked about this, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, we have.
Did we talk about this on the last one?
Yes, we did.
I don't know if we did.
I think we spoke about it.
No, we did. Briefly, we did, yeah.
Has she been cleared to wrestle then?
She has been cleared.
But, I don't know.
But I'm worried. I wish her well. I really do. I am worried.
I also think, unfortunately, and this is a little bit of a take on the Evolution group that we talked about that we didn't like earlier, that Evolution has passed her by. Yeah. I think that when AJ Lee and Page were at their height, I think they were new. I think they were innovative.
Yes.
And a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
But I now think that people like Bianca Belair, all these new women who have been pushed and given more time on TV have eclipsed her talent so much that if she got in the ring now, I'm not sure she can go. Now, that's a controversial thing. But I am not sure that she is now good enough to... Like, if I put her in a main event against Belair, I'm not even sure she could go.
It'd be a mismatch. Yeah. Completely. She wouldn't be able to keep up, I don't think.
No. This is what I'm saying. If I put her in with an Io Shirai...
Yeah.
Right? Anyone quite athletic, can she now... Has she got that game... to go all the way up here with them? I'm not sure.
No. We'll see what happens.
We will see.
However, one more return I'd like to talk about, and it's a very, very recent addition, is AEW's edition of Mrs. John Moxley, Renee.
Oh, yeah. I like her.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Great podcast as well.
I've never actually listened to it.
That's brilliant. When
she does paranormal as well.
Yeah, she does. James is probably going to know this as well, but when obviously she was getting closer to a due date of recently born child, do you know who took over the host?
Danhausen.
Danhausen,
yeah.
Wow.
And it also got him onto an episode of Conan O'Brien's podcast.
But yeah, no, I'm happy she's there.
I'm happy she's there, but I wouldn't shout it from the rooftops. I know it sounds harsh.
Do you know what? I think she's got likability, and she has got a big enough fan base to bring something to AEW, especially with the commentary. Not the commentary team, but the interviewers backstage.
Yeah,
because it is just my personal opinion. I don't find any of the interviewers backstage AEW.
I can't even think who they've got.
I can't. But
Tony Schiavone does in the news and stuff.
But Renee's got relikability, and she is a genuine wrestling fan.
Yeah.
She knows her shit. You've only got to listen to her. I mean, her episodes on a podcast are anything from like 30 minutes to an hour long.
Yeah.
But they are brilliant. She knows her shit, man. She knows her history. I mean, it's that alone speaks for itself. Personally, and it is only my personal opinion,
and if you're getting,
I think it's a great addition.
And if you're getting fed up with hearing that, it's your own fault.
And it is. I think it's a great addition.
Yeah,
it's a bit of fun.
Like yeah,
and good. She is fun when she interviews. Just listen to the Danhausen episode.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. But yeah, she's brilliant. She's a world of knowledge for the wrestling industry itself. So fair play, Tony Khan, to you and AEW and all the rest involved. Great addition. Well done, boys. You are on the up, mate.
On the up.
Yeah.
One last thing. Do you know much about the writer that the WWF hired?
The
Marvel guy.
I know a little bit. Yeah, I've read a fair few.
He does a lot of comics, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. He's a good writer. He's more of the darker stuff.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
but
he does Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or something, isn't there?
I mean, I tell you what, go for anyone that doesn't know that, and I can't remember the guy's name now. WWE acquired a writer who used to work with Marvel, and he's done a lot more of the darker side of Marvel comics.
Very, very good friends with Bray Wyatt.
Yes, he is. I personally think, and it is my personal opinion, I'm going to stop saying that because I'm fucking myself off now. I don't care. He's a brilliant writer. Go, if you Google who he is, go and check out his back catalogue of the Marvel series he's done. He's done a lot with Venom. Spider-Man. I think there is a few Doctor Strange comics that he's done as well. It's brilliant. They are really good, really entertaining.
Rob Fee.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yes.
Really, really is a great addition. At the moment, it does seem like, both big major companies are acquiring cleverly.
He actually wrote the film, didn't he? Or directed it or something. Black Phone? Or,
right, so...
Wrote. Yeah, great film.
Right, so is this the film that features the mask? Which is the film that features the mask? Because
now, where does that ring from?
Bray Wyatt was actually meant to be part of this film
as
well.
He was.
Because the mask that's being used that we're now all calling Uncle Howdy apparently isn't a film. Is it this film?
It looks very similar. It does look very similar, and it is worth checking out that mask that Ethan Hawke wears in that. But yeah, very, very good titan if that's right.
Not for me.
Good film. Has anyone else got any news to bring in?
Not really. I'm just thinking about other. I'm trying to think about other news away from WWE.
Yeah.
That I've seen recently. I haven't really seen. It's a shame because last week there was actually quite a lot of news, and this week there's not.
Yeah.
It's been quite a quiet week.
Raven was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
He was, yes. Yeah. Very good decision. Mm-hmm. Very well
I do
deserved.
like Raven. I've always loved Raven.
Yeah, congratulations, Raven, on that one.
I love Raven.
Tommy Dreamer, I think, actually inducted him, and Raven gave him the DDT because of the whole history they have.
Oh, fair play. Good on him.
Did Tommy Dreamer ever beat Raven in the end?
One time, yeah. They've been feuding since 1994, I think it was.
Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah, the story was that he never ever beat Raven.
Right.
He beat him maybe for the title or something.
Did he?
It was one of the last DCW shows, I think. It happened on.
Yeah, I really can't remember. Can't remember my ECW history that much, but I remember the feuds and watching it, and it's fantastic feuds.
Yeah.
I've never been a big Tommy Dreamer fan.
I've not really been a fan at all, to be honest.
He's okay. He's always been influential.
Yeah, I won't take that away from him, but nah, no, yeah, yeah, that's my yeah.
I was never a huge fan of Tommy Dreamer. I didn't mind him so much in, I'd say, 97 sort of time, ECW, especially when they'd done the crossover with WWF, and he was appearing on Raw, and he had the feud with Jerry Lawler in ECW.
That was good.
That was quite good, yeah.
That's a little known trivia fact, though, that there are certain ECW wrestlers that did appear in WWF in 97.
I've read something like that before.
RVD?
Yeah.
We should do it as a question, like, get people to post on the Facebook page who listens to this right now. Can you name any of the wrestlers that appeared from ECW?
It'll just be us three. It'll just be us three. So,
has anyone got anything else finally to add for the news?
Not really. Nothing that I can think of, unless someone actually goes onto a website or something, and I click the mute button, and someone wants to bring something up that they may say.
Yeah.
I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else.
The only thing left for me to announce is my topics for the next episode, which I haven't told you to yet, have I? No.
At least we haven't. I just want to bring this up, guys. At least we haven't had to press the mute button to organise what the topics are. Because what happens?
Stewie got prepared for this episode.
What usually happens is someone will go, just picking out one of you. Someone will go, Johnny, it's your turn, and he'll go, is it? And then he'll go, I ain't got any.
Give me 5 minutes. Yeah. So I did something different. Okay. I reached out.
Okay, that's great.
So it's my pick, but it's not actually my pick. This is from Billy Morgan.
Okay.
Our good friend of the podcast.
Yeah, we love you, Billy.
So our top 3 for our next month's episode is going to be our top 3 wrestling films or films with wrestlers in.
I like this one.
God, his face just cringed.
Top 3
3 wrestling films.
Now, listen.
Yep.
Right? I know that this has been the theme of the podcast. Are we all qualified to give an opinion on this?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I've watched enough.
Do we need to phone up Steven Spielberg and ask if we...
Unfortunately, he turned down the offer to write and direct Nacho Libre, because I can tell you right now, that film is not coming in my top 3.
Okay, as long as it's clear that we don't need to pass it over from George Lucas.
Is this the best?
Top... No, it could be your best, your worst, it don't matter.
Okay.
I'm going with best. So it's top 3 wrestling films / films with wrestlers in.
And it can be good and it can be bad.
Yeah. It can be good for both reasons.
Yes.
And our best or worst moment, Billy has gone with worst moment from Starrcade 99.
Okay. Worst moment from Starrcade 99. Was it just
very
worst
specific, Billy?
Yeah, I thought it was a great pick.
You said just worst moment, or was it worst
moment of Starrcade 99. So thanks ever so much, Billy, for that, mate. Most appreciated, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm quite looking forward to doing these ones.
So much, mate. I am all geared up for this. I think that wraps everything up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
As always, thanks ever so much for taking part, reaching out, getting involved.
Reach out.
And touch faith. Whatever. Everything that you do when you share our pages, share our topics, just get involved. I can't say that enough, man. Get involved. It's great to have a really nice, supportive community for those that get involved. And we do appreciate everything that everyone does.
365 members.
Yes. Keep it up, guys. Thanks. Just keep sharing it, man.
Yeah, couldn't say any better. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, keep caring. Because that's what we do here. We care at Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
I was going to say care in the community, but that's a completely different support group, isn't it? Yeah. I'll take that back. And keep an eye out for a special video coming your way soon.
Oh, yes, special video is on its way.
Yes.
It will be joining episode 10.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again for getting involved, guys. Carry on as you always do. Just, like, share, subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mum, tell your nan.
Tell the milkman.
Yeah, tell them all.
Tell the postman.
Yeah.
Tell the vicar at the church.
Tell Liz Truss. She's looking for something to listen to. Oh, no, don't do politics.
You can leave that in if you want. I couldn't give a fuck.
But fuck it. Anyway, thanks for your support, guys.
Thank you very much.
We'll keep you posted as and when this episode's ready to listen to. As always, we'll post updates and we'll let you know what the next topics are coming up, obviously before or after this episode is aired.
Yep.
Get involved. Thanks ever so much from me, Stu.
Thank you for me, Johnny.
Cheers, guys.
That's James. Take it easy, guys.
Goodbye.
Peace.